Yayo, dream it, don't give it up, Luffy, dream it, don't give it up, Zoro, dream it, don't give it up, Nami, dream it, don't give it up, give it up, give it up, go! Here's the story, find out about the church and the grand line, there's no doubt, the pirate whose eyes on he'll sing, I'll be king of pirates, he's gonna be king, Yayo, his name is Luffy, that's Monkey D. Luffy, king of the pirates.
You're really going to keep going, aren't you?
I think he froze.
Oh, dude? Yeah, I think you did.
No! Internet! We've been intercepted by the Marines!
Well, that does happen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Buttery Show. Welcome to the Buttery Show, everyone. I am Mike, your host. This is the other Mike, my co-host. And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Steve Vasquez, a.k.a. the Sin Prince. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah. And the reason why we have these two gentlemen here is because Mike has no experience with One Piece. Steve has a lot of experience with my One Piece, and I have partial experience with One Piece. And why we're here to talk about One Piece, I'll tell you why we're here to talk about One Piece. It has nothing to do with Iruka Sensei. No, it is the new Netflix television series, One Piece 2023. And wow, like it was quite a ride watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still don't get mad at me. I'm still kind of on episode 3.
Still on episode 3. Well, you know, people have lives, obviously, and it's been the same with me. Sometimes I go to work and have stuff to do.
I had to watch it on. I had to watch the first 4 episodes in one go. Then I had to watch the next 2 episodes in one go. And then I kind of fell asleep watching episode 7 because I started watching it at 1 a.m. But then I rewatched episode 7 and 8, today. So, we're good. I'm caught up.
There's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, there's only 8 episodes.
Yes, and this season there's 8, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Did they confirm season 2?
I hope so.
They haven't said anything yet, but I mean, the social media presence has been very positive. I mean, among just the community in general, One Piece fans were the same as me. I was kind of like, how do we make this happen? How is this possible? Because as always, Oda Sensei said that this story is not to be taken seriously. It's very crazy. We have a clown that can separate a boy who's made of rubber. It goes on, and believe you me, we haven't even gotten to the crazy stuff. Wait till we get to Baroque works. So as of right now, the community's been split 50-50. Some people love this, some people hate it, some people are simping over my man Buggy.
I noticed, like, he's the most popular character in the live action version.
You gotta love Buggy Sencho. Really, the legend that is Buggy the Clown. From day one, he had an amazing presence, and in this he was.
He creeps me. I hate clowns with a passion, so he kind of creeps me out.
Mm-hmm. So One Piece is a manga series by Eiichiro Oda that was started in 1997 in Shonen Jump Weekly, and had an anime adaptation in the early 2000s, and then had a U.S. localization in 2005 because because there's like sneak previews here in a 2004 issue of Shonen Jump that on Foxbox. May Fox Kids rest in peace. And of course, the manga series has lasted for almost 30 years. It's in the American release of the manga, there's 103 volumes. Obviously, in Japan, there's even more than that. As far as the TV show is concerned, the latest episode I know to have been clocked in is 1071. With Joy Boy making his debut at the same time as the Caucasus Moving Castle episode of King Oda. Yeah, so it's a long-running series. So I would have to say one of the biggest apprehensions I've had about this is you're seriously going to make a Netflix adaptation based on an anime that's already 1,071 episodes deep.
Okay, but from what I've seen from the live action, I like it so far.
All right.
Okay.
So my first question to you guys is, what was your first exposure to the original One Piece, whether it's the manga or the anime?
4 kids.
Oh God! Actually, a friend of mine went to Comic-Con back in the early 2000s, before the 2000s, and remember back in the day they had like those Shonen Jump and Viz Media would give like a small manga book of upcoming series. And in that one, they had Hunter x Hunter. They had, I believe it was Eye Shield 23.
21, yeah.
21, yeah, 21. And One Piece was in there. I forget what the other manga was, but yeah, I mean, I read that because obviously back in the day, the internet was not what it is today. And obviously I was like, well, I'll read it. Why not? Dragon Ball was the main thing back in the day. And so I saw it, I read it, and I'm like, the fight with Alvida obviously happened, and I was like, wait, what? Now I'm thinking, what? It's a show about pirates, so what is there? And when I saw his arm stretch, I'm like, what is this? What? And he hits a woman.
Whoa!
No one. I've never saw Goku do that. Well, he did that with the androids later on, but it's like.
I mean, if you're like a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, you know that all the way back in the first chapter, he hits a woman in a certain way.
It's kind of maybe an homage to that because it was shocking because again, to me, I did not see that. I didn't see Dragon Ball until I was like at least 15 because of the dub for Funimation. But yeah, seeing that was a shocker. I'm like, what? This is the good guy? He's like, yeah, no, he is, and
he's the good guy.
It's the exposure from that, and I remember the first time I actually saw One Piece on the store shelves was in a Borders bookstore. Shout out to the old days of Borders where they had like 4 rows of manga and anime products.
Man, I hate how people kept getting me Borders gift cards, and yet the nearest Borders to me at any point in time is like at least 15 miles, while there's like 3 Barnes and Nobles like within a 5-mile radius of me. So it's like,
well, that's why rest in peace Borders. They should have done the Starbucks thing, just be all over the damn place. But then it's like,
exactly.
God,
yeah, I actually love that. I love that Boondocks joke where it's like, where are you guys? We're at the Borders next to the Starbucks. No, you're supposed to be at the Barnes and Noble next to the Coffee Bean.
Yeah, but going back from those nostalgic days, I remember that. I remember the first manga of One Piece, which I think, do I? Yeah, still do. Right here.
Oh, dang. And it's the original version, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the one I bought all those years ago.
Wow,
still have
crazy.
It, and it's.
I know they recently started reprinting the older volumes, but you could tell like it's a new print. And they also started doing that with Bleach because of the 1,000-Year Blood War anime going on. Shout outs to Hulu, by the way.
Yes.
You know what I wish had a reprint? Would be one. Battle Angel Alita, Last Order, Volume 17, and Volumes 2 through 4 of Zombie Powder. And TT Kubo, please make a Volume 5.
That's yeah. I mean, Kubo Sensei too has been about Zombie Powder, and that's I mean, if he's in a good mood, maybe.
Yeah.
But going back to One Piece, yeah, it's been a long ride. I mean, that's a reprint that I bought. My original one has now been lost to time because obviously, but the originals did have a gold lettering on the front, which was for the word One Piece. So for about was it 2003 is when they started bringing out the manga. So yeah, I have been a fan for almost 20 years.
Nice.
I didn't have all this. I've aged.
I'll say this. My first exposure to One Piece was, in fact, the U.S. Shonen Jump Monthly. I have issue number 22, which is the October 2004 issue. I've wanted to get Shonen Jump magazines for the longest time back then, but this is the only volume I've got my hands on. And of course, my first exposure to both One Piece and Naruto is actually thanks to this magazine, because it features chapter 44 of One Piece, where they just got to the Barati and they just introduced Sanji. And of course, you got Patty being like, top of the morning, squid for brains. Well, can I get the check, or shall I get the check?
Now that was in that Shonen Jump, right? Yeah. That the dialogue you just spoke, or was that the 4Kids dub?
No, I'm using from the actual thing. And,
okay, yeah.
And yes, I just accidentally pulled up the Yu Yu Hakusho segment.
Yeah, because a little history right here. Yeah. Manga and anime was not what it is today.
Yeah, no.
Where you had proper translators. We had fan translators. We had people who spoke Japanese.
Yeah,
very broken Japanese.
Yeah,
and they would translate it, and obviously, the 4Kids dub gave Patty that type of voice. Very, very oi, very very kind of insulting. But hey, that's all we had back then.
Yeah,
and so I remember that they actually reprinted a lot of One Piece, because once I think they hit 10 volumes, they're like, yeah, no. We need to get this right. We need to get this right, because they're getting mad at us over in Japan that we're changing dialogue and everything.
Yeah, no,
that's what happened with the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
No, I actually think it's hilarious when they give a character an Irish accent when they have no business having an Irish accent, but somehow just the nostalgia of it just kind of makes it work for that character. And eventually Joey Wheeler just became completely synonymous with Brooklyn. But the one thing I won't understand is why Chuck Atlas is associated with Australia when he clearly has the accent of someone from Eastern London. It's that's the weird thing. It's he's got a Cockney accent. He's Chuck Atlas, Master Fawcett, and he's not talking like this. Where he's from Australia. No, he's talking like someone from Eastern England.
Yeah,
get that right.
Oh God, I can't.
It was the Wild West back then for dubs and anime back then. I mean, you look at even stuff that we had. Look at Hamtaro.
Yeah,
Hamtaro was a great issue. Wait, how does this hamster have a French accent? This one has a very American New Yorker accent. They're all from Japan.
Yeah. And that song was such an earworm too. Everyone at my 5th grade class was singing the Hamtaro theme song, and none of them even watched Hamtaro, because there was so many ads for the Game Boy Advance game, and that's it. That's it. It's I don't even remember something Pashmina jingle. That's all I remember.
Yeah. No, it was to sell stuff, and that's what anime was, and it still is to this day. I mean, sadly, the times of English dubbing catchy theme songs like the One Piece pirate rap, the Pokemon theme song, and all that. Those days are long gone. And even if someone did, I know Funimation had dubbed the openings, I think up to Jaya or Skypiea for One Piece.
Yeah. I was rewatching One Piece, and the first 4 intros were dubbed in Russian. Come on, ride with me. Towards your hopes and dreams.
Yeah, it was big news back in 2007. I remember I was at Anime Expo, and I was hanging out with a few voice actor friends, and the news was dropped that they had gotten.
Lost you for a second.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Am I back?
Yeah, I know that there's 2 different kinds of dubs, where either you just do an English cover of the original Japanese melody. For Yu Yu Hakusho, you got Smile Bomb with.
But they translated that amazingly, though.
but then you got like completely original American stuff, and sometimes it just stays longer with you, like the Pokemon theme song, for example. But I think we can all agree one of the best completely American songs would have to be Shaman King, because like that's just it hits hard.
Look around you, looky.
4Kids had those bangers, all right. I've posted that online many times.
Yeah.
4Kids had them. Don't tell me. No weebs nowadays can come to me and tell me 4Kids was garbage. That's all we had back then. But if I say pirate rap, Pokemon theme song, Pikachu's jukebox, the Yu-Gi-Oh theme song, both from original Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, all of them, and if I play them on a stereo or on a speaker for all of you to hear, you're all gonna like, you're gonna
belt
dance. You're gonna like, that's a 4Kids. That's a 4Kids production, guys. You are speaking forbidden text that you guys hate so much. So don't even with me.
You're not wrong.
Don't even with me. I will defend the 4Kids for what we had. But it's like, again, we wouldn't have the standards that we have today if it was not for. let's not repeat that.
Yeah, as much flack as the American One Piece rap had, I would still say it's not the worst 4Kids song. I would have to say the worst one was Fighting Foodons, where they just added lyrics to Orpheus and Underworld.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
if we're going, 4Kids, who remembers not like 4Kids anything. Who remembers Zatch Bell?
Well, that's not
4Kids, but that was not. That was But I mean, you had Zatch Bell kind of fell into that weird place as well, because the original Zatch Bell is very, very adult. You know, it's very adult, and especially with certain characters, I was like, as a kid, I had no idea. It wasn't until like 5 years later, I'm like, oh, my brother started watching it, and he talked to me about Zatch Bell, and I was like, what? Yeah, it's very, very. I'm like, okay, I did not know that.
And I hate how like they never like finished dubbing the Zatch Bell series. Like they stopped at episode 104, and there's like 175 episodes in total, so that's like 70 more episodes that we just can't watch unless we find some fan subs of it. But moving right along, one last question before we move into the actual Netflix series. How much One Piece, whether it's the manga and the anime, have you guys experienced so far? Mike, I'll let you go first.
Anime, not a lot. Manga, I haven't even read it.
Yeah. Well, how far are you into the anime?
I don't want to go there.
No, please. No judgment here.
No judgment here. Like that's kind of why I have the both of you.
I'm literally at the beginning.
Okay, so you're starting the journey. That's fine.
Yeah. The journey of 100 million berries starts with a single barrel.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. For me, because I'm the second because I'm the middling one. It was a very weird thing going on with the. As far as the manga goes, I started with chapter 44, which is right here in the Shonen Jump magazine, and then I had to go back later on. But then I pretty much stopped like midway into the Arlong saga. But as far as the anime goes, it's kind of weird because it's like all the way up to Alabasta. Like after they picked up Chopper, I've only been able to catch like episodes here in Crocodile. So like, and then once they picked up Robin, like I've only been able to watch it up to like part way into Skypiea. Like after they defeated the ball guy, that's pretty much where I stopped at. Because Toonami just stopped airing it altogether.
Yes.
I was watching it on Toonami, and it was at that point where they changed the voice actors, and Zolo was changed back to Zoro. And out of nowhere he started sounding like Piccolo because Chris Sabat was not the original VA for the character. And then like after years of waiting, like Toonami came back on Adult Swim, and they skipped all the way up to Long Ring Long, which is one of my favorite arcs.
Yeah,
and then Toonami brought it back, starting with Fishman Island. So there's like a lot of skips going on. So right now I'm trying to rewatch the series from the beginning, and I'm all the way up to Water 7. So it's like at least everything up to Thriller Bark I've already seen all the way through. Now I just have to watch the remaining 700 or so episodes.
It's taxing, I know. Some of it can be like,
wait, dude. At least you don't have to watch like 1,070 something episodes.
But the thing is, I am watching 1,071 episodes from the beginning. I just happen to have a lead over you. It's like, just because I've already seen Water 7 back on Toonami doesn't mean I'm going to be skipping it right now. Heck, like I just got to the Sniper King episode, which is one of my most favorite episodes. Like know what they're referencing. You know what they're referencing.
Yeah, I know what they're referencing. I know. I was like, where's the belt? Where's the belt?
Yeah, where's the belt? Yeah,
where's the belt? But
I mean, one end of the belt is tied to one end of his slingshot, and the other end of the belt is tied to the other end of the slingshot. Actually, you know what? That could actually be his rider post.
I mean, his slingshot is called Black Kabuto, so I'm like right there.
That's why I loved his new slingshot even more, because it's kind of weird that it's a staff, but it's called Kabuto. So it's like, that's my thing. That's my jam right there.
Yeah.
So you, Steve, like I know you're the expert, so
yes,
time for you to flex.
Oh God. I don't know. Is it a flex? Honestly, I mean, I got involved in this just randomly. I mean, it just showed up, and obviously I'm like, well, why not? Naruto, Ichigo, and Luffy showed up in my life. Something besides Goku, obviously, and I've been there. I mean, I was a young lad when I started One Piece, and now got Gold Roger's facial hair now. Technically,
I did notice that.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of funny, because the first time you and I met, you were actually dressed as Captain Marvelous from the Gokai Pirates.
Gokaiger, yeah.
Yeah,
and then that just it keeps going from there. But I did feel the fatigue watching and reading it, especially back in the day, and I could only catch it on TV. And if you missed an episode, you missed an episode. The mangas were very sporadic. Again, this was at a time that we didn't get them right away, so you would have to wait months for another volume. And at a certain time, just like you, I did take a small break with Skypiea, because I just felt like, what's going on here? We're like, I get for pirates, but now we're going up into the sky. We're dealing with, but then I'm like, it makes sense, because if you know or have heard any pirate legends or lore in our own world, they're pretty ridiculous and amazing tales. So One Piece kind of goes into that as well.
Yeah, I think there was a Greek myth about a flying ship. And also keep in mind, the only anime my dad has ever watched was Shotaro Shinomori's Flying Phantom Ghost Ship. That's literally the translated name. So it's like, there's got to be some, adaptation going on there.
There's something, but and of course, obviously, as the years had gone by, going from Skypiea then to Thriller Bark and all that, there was again more fatigue, because it's kind of like, well, what are we doing? What is what is the One Piece? You will get fatigue. You will get fatigue. I will say that to anyone who wants to get in this. You will think, what am I doing? What am I reading? What am I watching? This just seems to go on forever. You will get there. But there was a moment in my life that I was like, I took in a hiatus. I walked away from the story for a while, and I was at a low point in my life. And a friend of mine told me, you used to read and watch One Piece, right? Like, yeah, dude, it's getting so good. You gotta like go back. And I was just like, fine. He gave me a website to go on, and I would go to the school library. I think it was called Manga Panda or Manga Fox.
Yeah.
If everyone remembers Manga Fox. And I remember just binge reading after where I left off. And we had gotten to the Paramount War with with certain characters. There's a big war that happens. And one of the a character that we'll meet, I don't know if we'll meet him in the live action. We'll see where this goes. Called Whitebeard, inspired me because I was at a low point. I didn't know what I was doing. I had lost a lot in my life, as a young guy. But hearing his last words, anyone can go on YouTube and just look up Whitebeard's last words. That his words and what he said, I was like the people in the manga where my jaw dropped. I was like, what? For him to confirm that the One Piece is real. I was like, I kind of, afterwards I was like, he's lying. But at the time I was like, oh my God.
What if he's
and that
not?
I'm like, how? And so I kept reading. I kept watching. I kept reading, and I met many friends and many associates via One Piece. I went to Japan, and I was surprised. I went to the Baratier restaurant, which they actually did do. I got to meet Chef Zeph, the actors who were going. I went to the One Piece Tower in Tokyo Tower. I experienced a lot of things with One Piece, and it's one of those things that I look forward to every time it comes out. Right now is the time to be a fan and interesting because since we now have the community to talk to. Right now, as people said, it's the time to talk about it. It's the time to be involved.
It's the time of the revolution. The new pirate age.
The pirate flag. Whoa. Oh boy.
And that's how real it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy. As you can see, the pirate flags have already been up. They're up.
Yeah.
They're up.
I like how you have Dust Skull right there next to one of your flags.
Yeah. Yep. So no, the whole that whole thing is definitely it's been a good part of my life for quite a while.
Yeah.
So
I totally get where you're coming from because honestly, there was a point where I was fatigued with life and Power Rangers and everything, and then I discovered Kamen Rider Kabuto, and it really my will to live and to enjoy the things I love and whatnot. And I wouldn't even be here at all, much less have a weekly show where I talk about Kamen Rider, if not for that one instance where I was introduced to Kamen Rider. That's Kabuto especially. So it's your Whitebeard experience, I could totally relate to that. But I also love how there's this running joke in the fan base where the One Piece is actually the power of friendship and the spirit of adventure. Oda always confirms it's no,
it's not.
There's an actual treasure.
There's actually something out there.
Pluton would somehow be involved in that because why would you introduce such a Chekhov canon?
Well, that's always the thing that in anime. I mean, look at Dragon Ball, look at Yu-Gi-Oh, look at Sailor Moon. How did Sailor Moon beat Queen Beryl by all the Sailor Scouts coming together and the power of friendship? Yeah. Goku doing the Spirit Bomb. We have to give him our power. We have to come together. Yugi with the hand of friendship. It's yeah.
It wasn't just the heart of the cards. It's the smiley face thing.
Yeah, it's the smiley face, and a lot of people that's the running joke. That really is the running joke. And in anime, it's it's about friends, and I think my favorite reference to that would be the horror movie Cabin in the Woods, where you remember the girls did the chanting and they sealed the ghosts, and the government was like, "Fuck you! You guys gotta die. You have to die." I'm like, why not just why give them the option to seal away the ghost then?
Yeah, the Japanese laboratory, like the girl, used the song to like spirit bend the ghost out of its grudge.
Yeah.
By the way, like great. And also it's a ring reference because like the girls had to make a circle. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So moving right into the actual thing that we came here to discuss.
Let's get down to
the
business.
One Piece 2023 TV series. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll do it right. Bum 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 bum. The One Piece 2023 TV series is a fantasy adventure streaming on Netflix, developed by Matt Owens and Steve Maeda for Netflix. And it is the adaptation of the 1997 Japanese manga series by Eiichiro Oda of the same name. And the series stars Iñaki Godoy as Straw Hat Luffy, who has the power to stretch his body, but becomes completely paralyzed when he makes contact with salt water. Joining him in the cast is Emily Rudd as Nami, the famous Mackenyu as Roronoa Zoro, the pirate hunter, Jacob Romero as Usopp, Taz Skylar as Sanji, and joining the cast they have Morgan Davies as Koby and Jeff Ward as Buggy the Clown, as well as many other characters that are worth mentioning.
I'm gonna be honest. I seriously thought that Yoshi Sadarso was gonna be in this.
And Yoshi Sadarso is
what's his name? He's Koda from Dino Charge.
Oh yes. I was like, why is that name familiar to me?
Yeah, I know it's been a while. No, I still love him doing the Wonder Woman twirl back in 2015. Yeah. So let's take a quick look at our cast and crew here. Okay,
there they are.
Yes, so
there they are.
So we got Iñaki Godoy as the main character, and he's actually an actor from Mexico who's currently in some series right now, and basically he's a newcomer actor. But yeah, he got cast as Luffy, and I know a lot of people on the internet were complaining, but keep in mind that there is footage of Eiichiro Oda Sensei personally putting the straw hat onto his head, and you got the voice actress of the Japanese version of Luffy doing the same thing.
Yes.
So he has double acknowledgement as Straw Hat himself.
I remember when it was first announced Iñaki was going to be it, and I follow a channel called Grand Line Review. It's everything One Piece, and I recommend it for those who are reading the manga or watching the anime. It's a good place to get your info about One Piece. I think he said it best. He's like, no matter who would be casted as Luffy, people are always going to throw doubts. They're all because how could you? And I looked at the kid and I said, he's got it. For some reason, I feel he's got it. I mean, Luffy is not a serious character. He's a goofball. He is literally like, you don't take this guy seriously. How he made it this far is anybody's guess, honestly. But the kid's got it. I legitimately believe he has the Luffy, the Will of D vibes, because no one believed in Luffy when he started.
Exactly.
And that's the same with this kid. No one believes. And we had, as Michael said, we had the voice actor for Luffy. Her name escapes me right now. My apologies. And also Eiichiro Oda confirming them and placing the straw hat on him, which again, Oda does not just say things for saying things. He's very private. Yeah. So if he were to say something, it's like, hey guys, shut up.
It's a canon event.
Yeah, he's confirming us. He's confirming it with us. So shut up. Listen to what the man has got to say.
Yeah, and that's actually one thing I actually find interesting about this series, because I know that Cowboy Bebop got a lot of flack for, because I mean, honestly, okay, Cowboy Bebop had some good moments, but overall, I wasn't a fan of it. The creator of Cowboy Bebop, voiced his disliking of it. The
He
show
actually
got canceled.
walked off.
He walked off.
Yeah,
but,
he walked off. It's like they did what Disney did to George Lucas. Is that they here's a coloring book and some crayons. We're gonna put you in this room. We'll call you if we need some consultations.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what are you people doing? You know, that's why.
Meanwhile, I have to give credit to Matt Owens. He is a pre-existing One Piece fan, so he knows the series inside and out. There's so much footage of it, and he heavily relies on Eiichiro's consultation. It's like a master apprentice sort of thing, kind of like Sokka learning swordsmithing from that one episode of Avatar, and it's just glorious. And you could see there's love and passion in the series between Eiichiro Oda and Matt Owens, and I love that. Not only does Eiichiro approve of this, but also as we go further into various details of the series, you notice that there are certain things that were actually improved upon from the original series. There's things in the season that were not included in the manga that I think make the story better.
I agree. I think we lost somebody. We lost some footage.
Mike is stepping out for a moment, so it's gonna be the two of us for a hot minute.
Okay. There's some things in the manga and even in the anime that were not touched upon, kind of just quickly moved and let's keep going. But that's the thing that I say with this live action adaptation is it's not the manga, it's not the anime. You could pick those up. I can give you websites or streaming options to go and watch this show. This is kind of like the Cliff Notes versions, and if they add something more to it, that's because they got the creators' blessings to do so. And that's why I'm like, I loved episode 2 of the series where we finally get to meet my boy Buggy for the first time, and how he is very sadistical as he is in the manga and the anime. He's a bad guy. He's supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he really gave off that vibe. And the actor, I forget his name, but he really gave off the vibe of a warped, egotistical, maniacal clown. Jeff Ward. And my question is, when did Buggy become hot? When did the clown become a sex symbol? I know people, I've been in the game for so long, so when people are I see it on social media, on Twitter, on X, Instagram, all over of people I know that are just sharing how hot Buggy is and how beautiful he is. I'm like, excuse me? Are we talking about my Buggy? You're talking about my Buggy, my man, the true star of One Piece. He's the actor, but I mean I'm talking about the character, not the actor. Of course, the actor's a good-looking guy.
I mean, you might find at least one person who found the anime version attractive to that because Rule 34, but dang, everyone's all over. He's the new Rob Patterson.
Yeah, no, it's this show is gonna open up a lot of actors' careers. Honestly, it will. Iñaki, I think the casting for Nami is actually pretty good. I think she's actually how Nami should be.
I would have to say I'm with the whole Buggy being a sex symbol thing. I'm imagining Buggy standing behind Nami, and she's like, "I know where you are." And he's like, say it out loud.
No.
Say it.
A devil fruit clown. And then he climbs a tree.
No. I mean, parody it by all means, but no. No. And casting wise, that was a huge thing that a lot of people were very concerned about, because again, this show, if you look at the manga, the art style from when it first came out, it's a very big mouth, wide-eyed type of show, and Buggy is very expressive with his always like, the big eyeballs, the big mouth, and the shocks, the famous One Piece face that everyone says is Anel's, but it's like, no, I think it started with Buggy.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to get an actor who could do that, who could be very expressive. And I was like, how are we going to do this? That's what concerned me.
I find it interesting. He's less angry and more sarcastic. And I think in a live action medium, that actually works well for our clown character because, I mean, just look at Heath Ledger as the Joker. It's like he's not like viscerally angry like Mark Hamill's Joker. Like he's he's more sarcastic. That whoa, no need to blow things out of proportion. Maybe you guys need to take things a little bit more serious.
I was hoping that I was like, please don't let them try to, give me a Joaquin Phoenix or a Heath Ledger with Buggy. Like, just no, because I know how some directors like to add the serious moments. Yeah, the whole Joker thing to any clown-based character, even but for God's sake, Pennywise was throwing out a few like, wait, isn't that a Joker line? Why is Pennywise throwing Batman references in this movie?
I mean, but I'll say this: like, out of all the versions of live-action Joker that we've gotten in live-action Batman series, I'm glad that they went with Heath Ledger's Joker, and even then went with the most sarcastic part of Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, come on, Luffy, hit me, gun.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I was like, this Buggy's not my Buggy, which obviously it's a different thing. Yeah. But he was very like in your face, while Buggy, well, I guess in the beginning he was. It's just kind of like later on he didn't want to get the spotlight on him. Because he knew where he came from. He knows who his brother is and his connections, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I thought to myself, with this Buggy, looks wise, he's down. I approve. Even in the trailer, I'm like, when we just heard him laugh, I'm like, he sounds like a crazy clown. He sounds like a crazy clown, which he should be. But this crazy clown, we'll find out, is just all bark and no bite. And I think this actor has really pulled it off. I'm hoping that we get more Buggy if they do make a season 2.
Yeah. If anything, like, I wish I had more scenes where he uses the chop ability and uses it more creatively, because we only see he used it only like once or twice. But I actually do appreciate how the character, and this actually applies to a lot of other characters too as we get into it. A lot of characters are usually shown only like once or twice in the East Blue arc. But we see a bunch of characters coming back like on a more regular basis throughout these 8 episodes, and in ways that are actually very creative. Because it's like, for example, like, how would such and such character know when and the way they explain it in this movie, in this Netflix series, it actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about this one other actor from the main cast, Mackenyu. He is a legend in Japan, as
I've heard.
Yeah. So believe it or not, he one of his earliest roles, breakout roles, is actually from a film sequel to a certain TV series that we like to do a review of on our sister channel, the Morphin Network. Follow, like, and subscribe. A certain series known as Kamen Rider. More specifically, Kamen Rider Drive Surprise Future, where he plays the son of the main character, but from the future.
Wait. The one that plays Zoro?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're joking.
No, he really is. He really is. He's a big thing in Japan right now. And also, this year, he was also
Saint Seiya.
Saint Seiya. He was Seiya. Yeah. Which
he played live action Okuyasu.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was Seiya. The dude that played. The dude
he is.
It was him. It was he. Yeah. It is him. He is him.
It is. Yeah, it is. Like, he's playing Zoro and Seiya from 2 very popular.
Okuyasu and a Kamen Rider.
Yeah, he's got one hell of a filmography in terms of like nerddom right there.
I was wrong.
Yeah, no, he's up there.
I I still need to see the Saint Seiya movie because I didn't have a chance
Same
to
here.
see it.
I
And
did.
I know that Sean Beam is in it. I know that Mark Dacascos is in it, and you know how much I love Master Yu Milan. You know how much I love Eric Draven. You know how much I love what's his name, Kung Lao.
Yeah. Also, they with Saint Seiya, just a little off topic. I was surprised. I mean, they mentioned it at WonderCon. I had no idea. I thought it was a joke, and when I saw a trailer, I was like, "This can't be real. There's no way." But it wasn't in very many movie theaters.
No, it wasn't.
I had to like drive like 45 minutes out to go find a theater that had it, and when I did, I was like, "Yeah, I know Saint Seiya. I know," and I was like, "Oh, that's the guy who's going to be Zoro. All right, let's see what he's got." And he really pulled off Seiya. He pulled off his attitude. He pulled off who he was. I was like, okay. I watched the movie. I mean, hopefully we'll see what happens with this. But they got it down. Whoever did this movie was actually a fan of the series, and I just hope they do the same with One Piece, which they actually have. We'll just
He's
getting
the
the
son of
character down.
Sonny Chiba.
That's it. He's the son of Sonny Chiba. May he rest in peace, Sonny Chiba. Hattori Hanzo, master of Hattori Hanzo, which again, his apprentice or his what was it? His server is Gavan.
Yeah.
His space sheriff Gavan. I was like, what?
Yep. And also, if I remember correctly, he was also in Kill Bill, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's who I mean. He was the sushi bar owner, but the swordsmith.
And his apprentice was Kenji Oba.
Yeah, Kenji Oba. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he was Boss Kamada in Fast and Furious 3, the best Fast and Furious movie of all time.
I don't acknowledge Fast and the Furious anything after Tokyo Drift, man. Tokyo Drift was that's it. That's it. No more. No more Tokyo Drift. No more Fast and Furious. No more Fast and Furious. End it.
I liked Fast and Furious 5, but the third one will always be the best one.
I would say anything like the 3 and then Tokyo Drift, and then that's it for me. Yeah. Like don't even. They're trying to get what was the rumor? Transformers and Fast and the Furious like a crossover.
I mean, they already confirmed Transformers is having a crossover with G.I. Joe. Like that's already confirmed in Rise of the Beast, which, by the way, we will have to review at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
a big Transformers fan over here as well. So
same here.
Yeah, no, like honestly, I'm a little disappointed with the toy line because there's like barely any like deluxe class Maximals in this line, and what few I could find, they're just like slight remolds of the Kingdoms deluxe class figures.
Eventually.
Kingdoms versions?
Eventually. It'll happen in due time.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of these other characters. So, here we go. So, yes, we have Hawkeye Mihawk.
Dracula Mihawk, yeah.
Yes, I love the fact that his first name is Dracula because, like, he's fast and he's got those Hawkeyes, which is perfect.
Obviously.
Props to the actor and the costume department. They did a great job with emulating these characters, and they actually used like the official source material, like the color guide. Color path, I believe the term is, in order to figure out how to make their costumes, because they wanted to make them as accurate as possible, but in a realistic setting, so that it doesn't look like, oh, they're just random adults in cosplay. And you could see they did a fantastic job here.
I think Oda also said that he wanted his characters to be very true to who they were. That's why I was like, how could you? I mean, you can't mess up Hawkeye. You can't like that. Don't change any of the costumes. I know Gold Roger. I know a lot of people said like, look at Roger. He's supposed to be this big, tall guy, and I'm like, do you guys not know that Roger is dying as he is walking? Like he already said, he's dying. He's gonna die.
Yeah,
so having this,
you'd think the king of the pirates would not be caught.
Yeah, but it's like for not to give anything away, but he technically wasn't caught.
Yeah,
Mm.
I figured.
I'm leaving it at that. I'm leaving it at that. But the fact that some people in the fandom said that Roger looked like frail and like, well, guys, if you're in the community with me, you already know why.
Like,
And the thing is that well,
can you
keep
say
what?
that one more time because like we got kind of cut off a
Oh.
little bit right there.
Well, no, there's certain talks in the community about how people were saying that the actor who portrayed Roger during his execution, and how like Roger's supposed to be this fit guy, this muscular guy. Well, again, later on in the show, in the anime, in the manga, but it's like, yeah, but this is Roger towards the end of his life,
Yeah,
with certain events that I will not disclaim, but it's like, yeah, he knows he's gonna die.
Mhm.
He knows it, and it doesn't matter what he looks like. This is still Gold Roger.
Yeah.
This is the king of the pirates. And
yeah,
so
I was able to infer that he was not caught because think about it. If you have a name like King of the Pirates, you would not easily get captured by the world government. Like they would have to send every single Marine in the entire world. And it would have to be like a world-ending war just to capture this one dude. I mean, that's kind of the mythology that I was able to infer from it. So the fact that they had him in chains to begin with, like he had to have let himself, for whatever reason, be captured.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's the whole premise. I looked at this man who is Gold Roger, and I said, yeah, no, that's we don't really know anything about Gold Roger until like way later. Everything we get is flashbacks via other people, like their interactions with him. It isn't until like way later that we actually get like his story and what he went through and what was going on. It's like, so when people mention him, how he looks frail in this beginning scene, I'm like, well, whose memories are we looking at through here? Although I do love in the beginning episodes of how like they gave us all these Easter eggs of different pirates that we will inevitably meet throughout the series.
Mihawk.
Yeah, Mihawk was there. We've had apparently hints to Baroque Works leader Sir Crocodile, but not really. It's just like a little like, could it be, could it not be, because it's an unofficial thing that's like within the community. It's a little private thing. Then we see Shanks, obviously, with Mihawk.
Yeah.
And if you look, they focus on a young man with a green sweater and a red shirt with like kind of blondish hair for like a quick few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's also referring to another character that was I think hinted at this season but not shown. Mm-hmm. And then also, if you look, we also see Buggy there. Yeah. There's a character with blue hair, which like who had blue hair, which was Buggy. And so I was like, wait, there's supposed to be other people there, but they didn't show them because obviously that's for later. And if they want to redo this scene again, then they'll add them in there somewhere.
I was actually happy like when I saw the trailer for this show, when like it's like for like half a second, they showed a half-second clip of like a bunch of wanted posters. And then I recognized a sideburn in one of those pictures. So like I had to like rewind a little bit to confirm. It's like, and I was like, oh my God, it's Silver Foxy. It's Silver Foxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so happy that they actually referenced Foxy in the first episode.
Yeah, they referenced, I mean, I was kind of surprised that we didn't get Don Krieg, because that was kind of an initial thing for Baratier. But we got to see his wanted poster.
Yeah.
And actually, I was like, okay.
One thing I actually like about this series is the way, like, when they introduce a pirate in the series, they hyperimpose the wanted poster of that person with like their bounty, and then somehow in their own unique way, they just like get the wanted poster out of the way. Like for example, Arlong would like cut it out with his nose, or for Kuro, he would like slice his poster with his fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, like I actually like that little bit. It's kind of like watching Go Kaiser all over again. I'm not gonna lie. Well, more specifically, the Car Ranger episode where Kosuke shows up and you see like the red racer suit and he like smacks it out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and of course we got one actually real quick. One thing I was not a fan of in the opening scene with the execution is he didn't say the line the way we always remember him saying it though. And I get it, adaptation, but still, like I just wanted to hear the live action version say, it's like my treasure is yours for the taking, but you have to find it first. I left everything I own in one piece.
Yeah, no, that was I was kind of wondering why they changed it, but I mean, if Oda had the okay with that happening, I'm like, all right. But I mean, just the fact that his last words inspired the crowd. Like those last words were just like, no, I want to see the crowd should go wild at this, in which they did.
Yeah, and I wanted to see the one dude. It's like, hey, what happened to your treasure?
The one random guy, which apparently that kind of was like, again, very random, even for a flashback. I'm like, how did you know? How did you know he find it? I thought the One Piece was a legend. I thought it was a myth, but you're actually random sir in the crowd, which a lot of fans, even myself, kind of think like, did Roger plan this?
Yeah.
Like, what was that? Was that someone on his crew? Was that someone that he told, hey? Because again, not saying anything, but it's kind of like he knows something, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised because like even in the live action version, like you see this smile on his face before his execution. It's like he knows that if everyone else because he knows that killing the king of the pirates would end any possible pirate age, because if the world government can slay the pirate king, they can slay any other pirate that would dare try to take his throne. But if before his death he inspires a bunch of new pirates to start
looking for
the One Piece. Now there's a ton of new problems for the world government to have to worry about. It's like, instead of putting an end to the Queen of Roaches, you've just created 108 new colonies of roaches.
Well, that's pretty much what happened. Like Roger's words was the Molotov cocktail that ignited the entire field, and it. Again, it's like not saying anything, but I think he did that to make something happen. It was a domino effect, because now everybody is looking for this treasure. I could be the Pirate King, but people are just looking for that. They're looking for treasure, and it is a treasure, but just not in the way that they would expect.
Right. Yeah, and we actually do see Monkey D. Garp earlier on in the series, and he's actually a recurring antagonist in the season, so that's actually really cool.
It's crazy how quickly old man Garp has been introduced, especially with a very like Glaswegian Scottish kind of accent. I'm like,
"Oi, boyo. You are going to become a naval officer, or I will die trying."
Someone told me, it's like, is that Gerard Butler? I'm like, no. Can you imagine if Gerard Butler?
No, it's actually an Australian actor playing Monkey D. Garp, and he's actually done a lot of great roles in his tenure.
Yeah, I remember him from a show called Poldark.
Yeah.
It was like the final season. The first few episodes, he was in it as Captain Despard.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Despard.
And it's really, and you might notice that this series is definitely not the same as a shot for shot recreation of the anime or the manga.
Which it should not be.
Yeah, because it's like because you have to like when you first show us, you're thinking, okay, how are they going to turn 52 episodes
into 8? Yeah,
into 8 1-hour-long episodes? So that's like 16 half-hour episodes. And then it takes you back to M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender, where he tried to squeeze 20 episodes into a 2.5-hour movie. Actually, no. Actually, it was 2 hours and 5 minutes, I think it was. But the point is, it's like, how do you squeeze all that stuff? And it's like creative liberties. And we even talked about it on this channel. There were some things that were combined that were a good idea to combine, because like it worked, but then the execution was bad for like some of the other stuff they try to combine. But here it's like, I like it because if you've watched the East Blue arc of One Piece, they dedicate entire episodes of just like everyone's daydreaming and one character happens to have a flashback of their childhood.
Yeah.
Luffy and Zoro, to be more accurate.
Luffy and Zoro. And then later on comes, Usopp had his own saga, but that was in Syrup Village, obviously.
Syrup Village, yeah.
But then we had the whole thing with Nami, and it was like, and then we had this whole story with Sanji. So, I mean, I know a lot of people said that, well, that takes away from the story. That takes away from the meaningful, like, why they're doing the things they're doing, why Zoro wants to be the world's greatest swordman, why Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates, why Sanji wants to, reach his goals. But I say to anyone who watches this, I'm like, if you've been a fan and watching this since whenever, whether it be pre-COVID, post-COVID, or just out of boredom, you want to just see what's up. This would be for your mom, your dad, your uncles, your cousins who don't watch anime, and want to get the Cliff Notes versions of it. Now I know they're gonna ask questions like, wait a minute, the live action didn't do this, but what is this? And it's like, well, again, manga, anime, this came out first. What you're seeing is just a recap.
Yeah,
and that's what it should be.
But also, like I actually like the way they executed it because like while it's good to dedicate a whole episode to a person's backstory, it also distracts from the overall flow of the story, because it effectively feels like filler if there's like no payoff to it. But by intercutting the flashbacks with the present day story, the way they did here, it actually works, because it's like it shows the motivation as they happen. Like even like instead of having Luffy daydream about Shanks and how he lost his arm, and then have him fight Buggy afterwards, it's like, oh, remember Shank? Oh yeah, that's the guy I grew up with. It's like, well, he was my crewmate. What? Nani? What? No,
especially that story about like how Buggy got his powers. Very much like if you watch the anime or you read it, it took like a good chapter. I'm like, wait a minute, we were fighting, and we just stopped this fight because Buggy is daydreaming about the day that he got cursed with the Barabara no Mi, which is the chop fruit. So it's like, again, he didn't want it. He wanted to sell it because that's how Buggy is. He just wants treasure. He's greedy. Yeah. And Shanks was he's the catalyst to why he is that way.
Yeah, but here it's like, I like how it's like they like intercut the two arcs. So it's like you have a flashback of Shanks saying this one very specific line to Luffy, and then Luffy says it back to Buggy as an adult right before he defeats him. Yeah. And same thing with Zoro when he's like climbing that well in that one scene.
With Koro. Yeah.
What do you think, Mike, about like the way they implemented the flashbacks?
I like it. It's like it shows like, hey, where they were, where they are now, and what's gonna happen. I really like it.
Yeah. And one interesting change they made is like, because again, like they need to abridge 52 episodes into a single 8-episode series, they completely got rid of Don Krieg in a way that actually kind of works. Because like Krieg, I think Don Krieg took up more episodes than Buggy or Kuro in the anime. But and also in the anime, it's like the Don Krieg fight got interrupted by Mihawk, who just shows up who only shows up for like one episode and then randomly leaves.
Yeah, it's because they were going to the Grand Line, and obviously Draco Mihawk is you don't cross Mihawk.
Yeah.
and expect, you don't start something with him and expect to walk away. So
Exactly.
that's what I was kind of wondering. I'm like, in this thing, I'm like, well, where's Don Krieg? Because that's what's supposed to happen. But it's like, as you said, Mike, I thought it was weird, but after watching it, it kind of made sense, because if you look at Luffy, he fought Alvida. That was fast. And then we go to Captain Morgan, Axe Hand Morgan. That was fast.
Yeah.
Now we get to Buggy, and he now has a devil fruit. Now you're focusing on devil fruit users, and that lasted a while, almost an entire episode of this live action.
Yeah.
And then we go to Baratier, and now we get Arlong, which is a fishman. We're focusing on power here. And if we just go back to like normal people, I know that Kuro is ridiculously fast. He's like no devil fruit, but it's like we want to focus on the on the ridiculous and the crazy, because that's what One Piece is about.
Yeah.
And if we go back to Don Krieg of obviously, but he was just a pirate with a lot of weapons, with like guns and nets and things, traps.
Yeah, he mainly has a spear and poison gas and nothing else.
Yes, and he had Pearl. Let's not forget Pearl. And which again, 4Kids dub, I have no idea why they gave Pearl like such a Surfer Crush voice. He sounded like some reject from Bare Naked Ladies or something. It was very crazy, especially like even the Funimation dub. I love Don Krieg though, but I was kind of sad that he wasn't there. But either or, I'm like, it makes sense. We want to focus on the over the topness more so. And people, I mean, it wasn't until recently for One Piece's 1,000 some odd, almost getting to the 1,000 chapter, that different mangaka drew One Piece characters for the cover. And I think the author for My Hero Academia, of all people, drew Don Krieg. I'm like, that was your favorite? Like, oh yeah, hey, Don Krieg. I forgot about you, I think.
People think I'm crazy for liking Foxy.
No, Foxy, I mean, I know a lot of people, when they talk about Long Ring, Long Land, they called it filler. They just like, it's not filler, man. It's legitimately part of the story. It's like, get out. No, it is.
Yeah, because they needed to emphasize one, the importance of Nico Robin on the team, because that's where you start seeing like what she does. That she is like she has what happens later, and also you want to emphasize that the Marigoat, or Going Merry, depending on which dub you're using, is falling apart. We need a shipper, which, by the way, it makes me wonder upon rewatching. It's like the Foxy Pirates have so many shipwrights. Why didn't they just keep some of them from the Davy back? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Frankie, but just saying.
Well, we wouldn't be getting Super all the time, but again, Luffy never thought of that later on. But it was just like, let's focus on the ridiculous that is Long Ring, Long Land. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping that we get more of these ridiculous fights. Hopefully we just properly casted and made. But of course, as always, One Piece is one of those shows that character designs are very weird, very strange. Obviously, we have the main cast. I'm kind of surprised my boy Usopp does not have the long nose.
Yeah,
I was actually wondering about that.
Yeah, see, the only thing I hate about Usopp not having the long nose is because you have like these two other characters with long noses that keep getting mistaken with Usopp. And I like that recurring gag. And of course, those two characters are Kaku and Pirate King.
Yeah, Kaku and which I'm kind of wondering if we do happen to get to Water 7 and Enies Lobby, how are you going to make Kaku? Like, will we give him the nose? Because that's a very defining feature. That, I mean, you gave Foxy his nose.
Yeah.
You've been giving a lot of characters their defining traits. Look at Arlong, as you've shown photos of him. While I do
not
agree,
as blue as his anime counterpart.
Yeah. Well, it's
supposed to be photorealistic.
Yeah. But the thing is, I do agree with some people that like the nose kind of it slopes down instead of going outward. Which I get it. It's a sawfish. I get it. But Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, wait, why Usopp no long nose, but you give Arlong his nose, and you're giving like Foxy his nose on the poster? Was there a problem? Was it just a creative difference? I mean,
yeah, and and like I would really hate if someone like made the excuse of it's like, oh, you're disparaging against my people because like, oh, because of the big nose thing. But the thing is,
no.
But the thing is, for Usopp, the whole point of him having a long nose is that he's a liar. It's a Pinocchio reference.
Yes, it's a Pinocchio reference, but also it's kind of like, especially now with what we know about Usopp, or another theory that's going on, is Usopp a liar? Is he a liar? Because a lot of the stuff, especially in the live action, that he talks to Kowina to Kaya. Okay, I said Kowina. Yeah. So he talks to Kaya about. He talks about this, and we all know eventually his lies come back, and they're true.
Yeah.
He talks about a village of little small people. He talks about a giant goldfish. He talks about. He talks about like islands in the sky and all that stuff. Even some people have theorized, again, if we get there, that he might be, we're not sure yet, but he might be a relative or connected to a character that is later on in Jaya. Yeah, not Mont Blanc Nolan, which
they actually reference in.
They did. That's why I was like, they've touched on Mont Blanc Nolan, and it's like, even though Oda has not confirmed anything yet, I would like to think like, wow, wouldn't that be like just the biggest? Well, one of the big shocks that come with Usopp is that his whole life he's been called a liar. You know, everything's a lie, and he's related to the most famous liar, which he wasn't a liar. He true. Yeah, it turned out to be the truth.
Yeah, like, John Smith found Pocahontas. He just did not know that Pocahontas just went up into Angel Island.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I think he froze again.
No, I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah. So it's like, imagine John Smith meets Pocahontas, goes back to England, tells them about Pocahontas, but when they go back to find Pocahontas, she's on Angel Island with Knuckles the Echidna. That's basically Skypiea.
Going back to the 4Kids dubbing days. Gotta go fast. Yeah, no, I mean it's one thing, and I mean I'm not upset with Usopp in this dub. I actually like the actor. He's very charismatic. I kind of was like, you look a lot like Yasopp, his father, more than you do Usopp. But I'm like, okay. But I do enjoy. I like how he is. I love how he's got the style down, the look, and again, Usopp is very fashionable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, this guy, I forget the gentleman's name who is Usopp, but he seems to have it down.
Jacob Romero.
Jacob Romero. He's got the style. He's got that. I love how he panics.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Usopp thing to do. Yeah. That's definitely something for him to do. And I was actually kind of surprised how what happened along with Kuro and everything else.
Yeah.
Just like not giving us a story of.
They cut Django completely out.
Yeah. That I was actually I was kind of like, wait, what? So Django's not here, but Mary is also gone.
Yeah.
Mary's gone.
Yeah, he's dead. Like in the original series, like he was alive. He's like, it's like, oh, I brought you the ship.
I brought you the Going Mary. Yeah,
but no, they just renamed the ship Going Mary in honor
of Mary. And it's like my boy Usopp is now in the live action he has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
which is actually like okay.
Yeah. He has I actually love the actress playing Kaya because she's exactly what I imagine a live action version of Kaya would look like in detail. Like it's crazy how accurate the casting was. Like
they were very down, especially I know that this was spoken about was the casting of Shanks and his crew. Mm-hmm. Seeing Ben Beckman, Yasopp, Lucky Roo, and all of them, it's like I again, if I don't look at I as long as I say the character, the actor is portraying the character, I don't care what ethnicity they are. I thought
That
the
is
guy who
true.
was Lucky Roo. I was like, I never thought of him as an Afro man, as a black man. But again, I was
but the black man playing him did Lucky Roo so well. Like
he does it so well, and even holding the lamb shank and just how he
and the way he smiles too, like
yeah, the way he smiles is like that's a very Lucky Roo thing. Yasop also, his attitude, the way he presents himself. Ben Beckman, I kind of felt like he has a very much of a dad bod kind of a thing going on, which I was just like, well, I mean, I don't know. Ben Beckman always seemed like he was a guy just like Zoro that worked out a lot to me personally. But the crew himself has been great. I mean, everyone has been amazing. We talked about Zoro, we talked about Luffy and Usopp. Sanji.
Yeah.
Sanji. The twirly eyebrow I miss. I do miss his eyebrows.
Yeah. But I do like how charismatic he is, and he's played by a Spanish actor.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which is interesting because his accent sounds a little French.
Hey guys, when we're talking about this is where I'm gonna have to exit because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Well, at least tell us your score.
Honestly, from what I've seen, 10 out of 10.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna watch season 2 when it comes out?
Yes, but
are you gonna watch all 1,071 episodes of the anime?
Yes.
I please do. I mean, it's an amazing story. It's literally.
I will not watch Dawn Brothers or Zenkaiser.
Boo.
Well, I haven't seen those either. I haven't seen them, but I need to get on that. But again, One Piece is. I refer to the Odyssey.
Right,
to Homer's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, talk to you later. Peace.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So much like Vivi, he needs to take off and. Okay. So one thing I also noticed is they actually implemented new technology with the transponder snails that we haven't seen in the anime. And like the first one we noticed is we actually see Nami wear one as a Bluetooth. And I'm like, I don't remember seeing that in the anime.
No, it's something technically new that has been on Wano and also that they did for Film Red. But again, when the story was written back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, Bluetooth was not a thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, we got to get with the time. So my transponder snails would be their version of cell phones, technically.
Yeah. And also they got a what's it called, a speaker transponder snail, so it's like you could use it as a megaphone, and I actually really like that. I don't know if I've seen that in transponder snails in the anime, but I noticed that a lot of the transponder snails look like their owners. So a Morgan has a snail with like a metal jaw, while the snail that Garp has like a little beard around it.
Technically, they do that when the person is receiving the call. Like if Garp is making the phone call to one of his officers, the snail on the officer side looks like Garp. Yeah. And that's why I was like, wait, so the snail looks like Garp regardless? Like that I was kind of like, maybe that's just a thing that they do.
Yeah, because in the anime, I only remember them emulating the facial expressions of the characters, but not like the physical features like a metal jaw.
It depends on the character, because even so, when we start meeting ridiculous characters like Kaido and Mama and all of them, the snails take on their makeup, their facial hair, everything like that, and it's just like, okay, so is it just when they hang up, does that all disappear, or does the snail stay looking like that? I don't know.
Yeah. So another change they've made, and I actually really welcome this one, is that not only, aside from the fact that they incorporated Garp as like a recurring villain, but also we actually see Koby and Aleppo actually show up as recurring characters on what's names on Garp's crew, because in the anime, you know, like we see them one time, like during the Alabasta arc, where like Garp shows up and recruits them, and we don't see them again until after the CP9 arc, where like they went through like that physical character growth.
Right.
Yeah. But like here, it's like we see the character progression, and one of my most favorite scenes is from episode 3, where Garb actually asks Koby to play Go with him, and of course, you know, I love to play Go. You know, I love the series Cardinal Go, which is also featured on my Shonen Jump magazine. But yeah, and like it's like, and you know, the scene where it's like where like they're playing for 2 minutes, so they have to play fast, and it's like when he's decisive, Koby finally beats Garp easily, and then in the next episode you find out he kept beating Garp at every game since then. Like, I like that.
It's I mean, Koby is a smart kid, and again, you're right about the progression of Koby and Helmeppo. In the manga, it was cover art. You know, they showed Koby enlisting, they showed Helmeppo by his side, they showed him, you know, the whole episode with reuniting with Morgan, who now is on the run, and all that stuff, and kidnapping his son, almost killing him, but then him and Helmeppo, Koby train under Garp now to be his proteges. So that was honestly, I think, that was a good call to put on there, because again, Oda makes these cover art stories for his chapters, and a lot of them we don't know. There's stuff I know about characters who they think people will think are dead or gone, which no, they're not.
Yeah.
And that's the wonderful thing that I saw about this. I'm like, how are we going to tell the story about Koby and Helmeppo and their progression within the Marines? Because that was considered filler anime, and it was also like it's just a cover art. So just having it sporadically season there, I'm just like, okay, no, that's good. Because we want to see the progression of Koby and Helmeppo for them to be the next generation.
Yeah, and like I love how they point that out in that scene where Garp was having a conversation with Zeph at the Barati, and it's like our generation's gone. Now it's for the new generation to become the next pirates and Marines. And then it culminates in that fight sequence in the final episode between Luffy and Garp, and how it's like it wasn't meant to be a fight. It's to show Luffy's resolve. It's like, you know, because it's like, you say you want to be the king of the pirates. Well, time for you to prove it. Because if you cannot defeat me, what hope do you have against the world government?
And that is very true, because again, for what I know, and I'm like, Garp, if Luffy fought you right now, for what now I know, Luffy would have died.
Yeah.
He would have totally died. He would have been there would have been no Monkey D. Luffy anymore. There'd be nothing. Yeah. But it is his grandson. It is his child also, in a way. So I mean, he just wants to make sure he's all right in his own weird way.
Yeah, and I love how there's like a lot of intermingling, because it's like because there is noticeable corruption within the Marines, as there's always been in the anime. But I love how like both Garp and Koby want to clean up like the filthy acts that, you know, the Marines have been doing, because how can we call ourselves like the harbingers of justice if we ourselves are acting no better than the very pirates that we're hunting down? And so like I actually love like the side stories involving the Garp and Koby.
Well, yeah, no, it was even more so exposed with Nami's story, especially with
the mouse guy.
With that jackass. Yeah. It's like you're supposed to be helping the people of this village, and yet you're not. You're taking bribes, and so it's like, Nami couldn't go to the Marines, couldn't go to them because she doesn't trust any of them. She's got to do it herself, and it's true. It's like as the story progresses, it's very blatant that there's some shady things going on with the government.
Yeah, and actually, I love this conversation that Arlong has with him, and that definitely was never brought up in the Arlong Park saga because like he mentions how there's like prejudice towards fishmen in the series, even though there is a warlord who's a fishman. So
Yes, yes.
so like they're referencing
Boss Jinbei.
yeah, Jinbei. Yeah.
They're in Boss Jinbei, yeah.
Yeah, but because it's like that is a main focal point in the Fishman Island saga during the time skip because we find out how Arlong came into power in the East Blue because there was this prejudice against fishmen. They didn't have citizenship, and then the queen of the fishmen had to work her butt off, and then spoiler alert, bad things happened, and then we had opposing factions such as Jinbei versus Arlong, where one wanted unity while the other wanted supremacy. Again, we're going to that whole trichotomy with the X-Men and Kamen Rider 01 and all that.
Yeah, it's going with the whole even politically that has never stopped. Some people want peace and coexistence while others want supremacy, segregation, and just thinking that we're better off separated than together. And I'm like, it's not true. It's not true.
Yeah, so like I love how they're sowing the seeds for future conflicts throughout the series because again, it's like I like what the first 5 minutes of the 2017 Power Rangers movie tried to do, but we would never get to act on that because the Yellow Ranger was an equation. It's like yes, Aquatar confirmed, but no, like
it's that's the thing that I even said involving this series. I was like, it doesn't get political or any like type of strong commentary till way later, but it's there.
Yeah.
But currently how things have been going with life in general, people are just kind of like, we're tired of hearing it. We're tired of like, but this was subtly, brought up that, hey, you guys don't trust me. I don't trust you. But there's one thing that mutually binds us is money. So I give you some to turn around and you could, whatever. And that's what binds the relationship between the Marines and the fisherman pirates.
Yeah, so that's why like one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books is the one about the Sneetches, and you got the star Sneetches and the plane Sneetches, and then like this dude keeps like getting all their money by like making them like take their stars on and off up to the point where like he just leaves. No one knows who was originally a star, who was originally a plane. So it's like now they have no choice but to coexist because they don't know who's who, and that leads to me saying the phrase, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, because the only color that matters is green.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's what Arlong pretty much represented. I know later on with certain characters that will or could be introduced, it's gonna be just blind ignorance that will drive them. But with Arlong, I mean, he does have a history. He does have traumas behind it, obviously. And I mean, I kind of even wondered like why, Jinbei being who he is, but I'm like, especially back then, I'm like, why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you do anything? He had his reasons, but involving in this, we do not know his reasons why. Like Arlong is probably working with Jinbei right now.
Yeah, I actually love how like in the anime, Jinbei straight up face to the floor to Nami.
Yeah. That was the thing that I mean, I know a lot of people had put words to it as well about Nami's relationship with her village and her relationship with Arlong, especially the famous scene of her stabbing herself with the knife on the tattoo. I did feel like that was a bit rushed in this series. Like there wasn't a lot of like heaviness. So like it kind of felt like, well, Nami's doing what she has to do. But that like the weight and everything was just like, it didn't feel like the original.
Okay, the internet's back.
Okay. So
I I don't know what's going on with the internet lately because like it seems like everyone from LA to New York is like having internet problems. We're very sorry for the technical issues, ladies and gentlemen.
How many people have we disappointed?
Hopefully less than 108.
Is that how many are watching the show right now?
I don't know. I just like the number 108. You know.
Oh yeah. All right.
And apparently so does Zoro because he has a sword technique called like 108 something.
108 Phoenix World.
Yeah. It's actually a Buddhist thing, you know.
Yeah. But you know, going back to what I was talking about, it's like the whole thing with Nami and Arlong in this. Apparently, there were a lot of people who had vocalized that the weight of the situation was not as heavy as it should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, you know, again, this is the summary of it. If you want to watch it, I mean, they have the anime, and they even made a series summary movie of an anime for it called the Nami episode.
Yeah.
So I mean, right there. But I think the point was made with Nami and Arlong about what had happened, what was going on, and why she was doing the things she did, especially why now she can leave Kokoi Village to go be a navigator, you know, and live her dream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as the show itself, in terms of just representation of characters, we're doing it. It's there. It's there. You can't put anime standards on a real person's body, especially in One Piece. The bodies are so ridiculously radical.
Yeah. In
this series, especially, I want to know how or who will represent like big characters. Like if we ever get to Whitebeard or Dory and Buggy on Little Island, how are we going to represent Wapol and Drum Island? How are we going to represent Chopper?
Or Chopper like is the one I'm concerned the most about because he's an anthropomorphic deer.
Yes, I mean that'll be CG. That'll be totally CG, and no one can argue that point. That you can get a child to, you know, we can make Chopper a humanistic child, but that's not what he is. He's a deer.
Yeah, he's several decades old in the series. But the thing is, like by deer life cycle, he seems like a child.
Yeah, he's I think like in the time skip he's like 18. Like they're going just by actual human age compared to deers, which I have no idea how long deers live for.
But not gonna lie though, I love every time he gets flattered. You're just saying that.
Yeah. That's the thing that I was actually surprised with this first season that, you know, we mentioned Baroque Works, which that you're already like, are we actually? That's quite a ways, man. We got quite a ways to go to get there. But are we hinting that we're gonna get to Alabasta and Baroque Works if they do season 2?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be too much effort, but I actually do like the fact that he was being recruited in the show because Zoro did mention offhandedly in the anime that he was recruited, but then he killed Mr. 7.
Yeah, he turned it down, and this was the first time we actually saw Mr. 7. We had only ever heard that he fought him in the manga and the anime. This is the first time we actually see him, which.
Yeah, right like there. even in the manga, like the only illustrations you see of Mr. 7 are like in one of those like extra pages that show like behind the scenes stuff. You don't even see Mr. 7 in a flashback in the anime in the manga.
Let me see.
All we know is that he kind of looks like a king card from playing cards.
Yeah. I mean, I could have sworn because I also have I have all 3 of the One Piece. Color walkthrough, which is what Oda does for his cover art.
That's what's called walkthrough.
This is the English one. I know that they do the Japanese and magazines, and I could have sworn that there's a photo in here of Mr. 7, just a random sketch that Oda did.
Yeah, he looks like a king card, like in a regular playing card deck. with like the powdered wig and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they, like I mentioned before, like the color walk is what they use for as their work Bible in the costume and the makeup department. And I loved it, and I love what they did with their costumes, with the makeup for the fishmen, and all other kinds of special effects, the choreography. By the way, shout outs to Luffy's actor, because in one video where they were watching the Elvita fights, he actually mentioned his stunt double by name, saying showing his gratitude. And I'm like, okay, you show that much respect to your stunt double, I like you already. I acknowledge you,
especially now,
yeah.
Especially now with what's going on.
Because one kind of actor I could not respect is one that like gives no respect to their stunt double. Like I'm not saying you have to like bring them on by name all the time, but like when you like downplay their work, or when you or like when you just like minimalize their work, like, oh, they didn't do, like, if you say you did all of your own stunts when you didn't, that's kind of a problem for me, because I grew up on VR Troopers and Speed starring Keanu Reeves, so it's like, to me, the stunt department is one of the most important departments.
It is, honestly, especially if you're doing an action show like like this, obviously.
Yeah, the stunt department is always the first to come to the workspace and always the last to leave, because they're always training nonstop and they always have the highest medical bills out of the entire crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, props to Keanu for always paying the tab for the stunt team. But yeah, one last thing to talk about when it comes to changes I liked was the Syrup Island saga, because instead of just having everyone fight at a narrow trench the whole time, like everyone's trapped inside a house the whole time, and it's locked, and there's like a lockdown. So like I like how there's like, you have less room to work with, and I love that what are their names? Nyarabon siblings.
The Nyambron brothers.
Yeah. One of them is gender swapped. Not gonna lie though, she's a woman. In this one.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's no big deal. But I love how the both of them are also part of the work of the staff at Kaya's mansion, in addition to Kuro. So it's like
no, please go ahead.
Yeah, as if one deadly butler wasn't a problem enough. Now you have three of them.
Well, that's even the thing I kind of asked, like, where has Kuro's in the manga and the anime? I'm like, where were Kuro's men the whole time this was going on? He's been doing the butler thing for like a good while. It's like, well, what? Like, no one noticed the giant pirate ship with the cat figurehead on in the front?
Yeah. They got rid of Django, which, not gonna lie though, I like Django, but we didn't really need him.
No, we didn't need him, because that was just kind of like again, another thing for Usopp to toughen up and be a man, obviously, with that. But Django is not necessarily important, especially like in One Piece, because like, how did he go from being part of Kuro's crew to now being a Marine? Which, that's a story in and of itself. Again, cover art and whatnot tells the story of Django, obviously.
Yeah. So like, but like, for anyone who doesn't know, Django brainwashed one of the peons from the Black Cat pirate crew to believe that he himself is Kuro instead of Kuro himself. So when Morgan executed Kuro, he actually executed someone else. I don't think they explained it very well here. We just know that, like, wait, how could Kuro be alive? My dad killed him.
Yeah, no, that was one thing that I was honestly surprised. I was like, what? No explanation, guys. Nothing. Okay, well,
that's the one. I think that was like the one downside, but the whole
they made it seem like Koro had like 9 lives or something. Like he actually has like cat abilities. It was like, no, I mean he's fast. He's fast, but
and we do see the speed, and it's cool.
Yeah. That's the thing that I was like very interested with to see with Koro, and the actor who plays Koro is just spot on, especially with his movement of like the glasses. And I think I saw something that he said that he actually studied his movements. He watched the anime like over and over to get his movements down. So
yeah. I actually love how like when you're first introduced to the character, even in the anime, it's like he always like fixes his glasses like this, and you're always like wondering why is he fixing it not like this? But then when you finally see the giant claws, it finally makes sense. It's like, oh, because he would have to fix his glasses while having those swords on his fingers. So it's like, and like the habit just stays there. It's like, wow, it's kind of like Yoshikage Kira, like after like he becomes Kosaku Kawajiri, like he still like chews on his fingers even after changing his face.
Yes. It's really those details that kind of got me to appreciate what the Netflix series was doing, obviously, because not just costuming and hair color and stuff like that, but just the little fine details. If I had seen Koro touch his glasses with his fingers at any time, I would have been like, wait, what? Small thing, but it's kind of like just the fact that if Luffy were to take his hat off and just leave it on the ship and then go do an adventure, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't, this like the small details that I've noticed here with these characters, how Zoro is, how Nami is, Koro, Arlong, and all of them, they were down to a T. They were down to like these people did their homework, and a lot of them have said that they are also One Piece fans. That they've been about, and that's the beautiful thing. Is that kind of put the doubts away with this series with me.
Because it's like
the love of theirs.
It's really funny because like you always see like Hollywood making at most mid adaptation of some kind of property, while actual fans make a fan made version that's far superior. Like on YouTube at like 10-minute segments at a time, because that's the way YouTube was back then.
Not to throw any gas on our conversation, but it's kind of how recently there has been that Rankin Bass Scooby-Doo project. Have you seen that of the Five Nights at Freddy's? Scooby-Doo meets Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, I have not.
It's an amazing fan project that someone did, but it's gotten some fire recently because of certain things, because of like just creative things that the artist did. But it's actually amazing. It's and here's Hollywood just burning itself with its properties. When I look at Disney, what are you doing? Like, you guys own this stuff. Look at Warner Brothers with DC. You guys have owned these properties for years. You know them. You have people who have worked with you and have written amazing stories via animation, not a big screen. But here's this One Piece show that when you tell me there's going to be a live action adaptation of an anime of a very, very cartoonish, comedic show, and it's honestly the best thing ever.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like you got like these fan-made projects that are superior to what we see in Hollywood. But now, like, what if the actual fans making those fan-made projects now have a Hollywood budget, but keep the passion?
That's what I say, and that's what is very clear here in this project, is that there is there's love, there's passion here for this project. There is what's up with the lights? There is love, there's passion, there is a lot of
I agree. Like you feel the passion, yeah.
Pardon me, I just had to fix the lights. Yeah, no, that's the thing that I was like, that's what we need. I mean, it's a classic thing for us to reference would be the Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie. Take a look at what Legendary Films did with people who are passionate about the project, as compared to these guys who just wanted to make a blockbuster out of it. It's night and day. Which, not shitting on it, but it's like, that's why you should get people who are passionate about your projects. That's what I saw with One Piece, with Netflix, is that they didn't just pull this out fast. They
took the time for it.
They took the time, and they're like, well, we gotta work this out. We have to work how we get this all set and ready, how to make it happen. And look, it took 2 years for it to happen. Took 2 years for they announced it, and I thought, wow, well, that's whatever happened to that? Oh, it's coming, and I think that's what we need more so in Hollywood, more so with Netflix and their adaptations. Because I was actually surprised that the people from Cowboy Bebop and Death Note, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what? Again, love Cowboy Bebop, love Death Note, but whoever came up with those creative decisions really didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Legitimately. I'm like, you could have gotten to some college kid in film school and it's like, about Death Note, you could have saved yourself money with just with someone who knows via someone who thinks they know.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying you couldn't make an adaptation outside of their settings work in the proper film, because that's the thing with One Piece as well. But One Piece is so fantastical and fantasy based that, well, it's not in our world. It can't be. I mean, but we can make it work. We can totally make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Also, quick question. So like, if they made a season 2, how do you actually, let's say they made a season 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. How do you think it would break down in terms of the actual arcs in the story?
Well, I know that the filler that's gone. As we all know, there's about 1,000 episodes, and there's been about 100 filler episodes that have just been sprayed out through these 1,000 episodes. So not even 10%.
They basically spend like 7 episodes in CP9 arc, just like redoing the entire first season over again.
There was the famous filler about the dragons back in the original One Piece anime about the little girl.
Dragons, the
little girl and the old dragon. Which I'm like, how do you guys get to Punk Hazard and not remember that dragons exist? But if they did do that, if they did a remake or continue with seasons, they would focus, as always, focus on the main points. Focus on the meat and potatoes of the story. So we have gotten to now, we're getting to the red line and we're crossing Reverse Mountain. So now, you're going to have to introduce Crocus and Laboon. You have to, because that's a key part to the story later on. You're going to have to go with maybe go to Little Island and with Dory and Borgie. You're going to have to focus on Chopper and Wapple and, the story of Doc Coreja and all of them. When you get to Alabaster, it's going to be shortened down to maybe not seeing all the agents, obviously.
But they're probably going to spend like a total of 2 or 3 episodes in Alabaster.
The thing is, I say, is that I know that they only did 8 episodes, obviously, because, that's let's give it a test drive, obviously.
Yeah.
But in this whole thing, if they do, I would say give it like 12 or 15 episodes, maybe. If they had like at least like 10 or 12 episodes to focus a little bit more, maybe we could have gotten Laboon and a few things out of the way before we get to Baroque works, because they kept hinting that with this series. Focus on, obviously do Long Ring, Longland, do all that, obviously. But again, just focus on the story itself. You have to tell Jaya and Skypiea were very long, very and of course you're gonna have to cut characters. But again, as I said, this series, this Netflix series is just a recap, a cliff notes for people to be interested. And of course, Funimation, Crunchyroll, Netflix, Hulu has One Piece now. They're all there, Japanese subbed and dubbed.
Yeah,
you could easily get
Hulu used to have a time skip stuff, just not dubbed. But like now, it's like they have everything dubbed up to the time skip, but then they have like no time skip episodes except for the first one. So it's like I don't know why they took out those episodes, but that's what basically happened. But Netflix only goes up to Thriller Bark though. So like, so once I finish Thriller Bark, I have to switch to Hulu to go to cover the Summit War.
Yeah, no, it's again, that's just what they're doing right now. But of course, if you have Crunchyroll, they do have them dubbed as well. The English dub is slowly getting there, and shouts out to an old friend of ours, Johnny Bosch, who is the voice of one of Luffy's relatives in the anime. Sabo.
Yeah.
So, and I give praise to Funimation for getting the One Piece dub. I have no idea who would honestly have. Apparently, there was rumor back in the day that ADV Films or Bandai was going to get the rights to it. And you just imagine how that would have turned out. But yeah, no, this series is actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it, and I recommend for anyone to watch it just to get your feet wet, I guess the saying would be.
So what score would you give it?
Well, nothing's ever a perfect 10. I'd say this was an 8.5 for me. 8.5 just in terms of like just character designs and how they went about it. I felt like Nami's hair was a little bit too like neonish. It was very bright. It was very bright for her hair. I was like, but then again, I don't know how it would feel if her hair was darker. But here's hoping to another season. Here's hoping for more adventures to come, and this opens up for more fans, more people to be interested and talk to about it.
Yeah, I would say if they made more seasons, I think they could pull off going all the way through Alabasta in 10 episodes. Maybe not 8, but they could do a 10-episode season going all the way to Alabasta. If you spend only one episode with Smoke in Lodgetown, then do one episode with Laboon and Reverse Mountain, and then go straight into Baroque Works. Spend 2 episodes in what's it called in the Drumtown, and then make it all the way back to Alabasta for 3 episodes.
Well, again, that'd be the thing, because we'd have to also introduce the Giants, Dorian Brogy, which Baroque Works was also involved in that. So
yeah, but my question is, how much of it is necessary? Like, do those 2 giants come back later on?
Yes, they do. They get referenced. They get mentioned, obviously, and we will. Just to get for people, we will. Eventually go to the land of giants.
Yeah,
we will get there.
Yeah, because but yeah, like maybe that could get an episode. I mean,
that
again,
it's
you
just
can pull
something
it off
small
if it's a 10-episode season.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally season agree. 3, Pia all the way. I don't know. Like, I want to fit Long Ring Long there because I feel like it would work better there than it would in a 4th season. But like, I just don't know like how it would end. Well, actually, you could finish with Long Ring Long if you put a lot of emphasis that Robin is hiding something.
I mean,
maybe even if you include Aokiji as well in that at the end of the season, then yeah, I think they could pull it off.
I think with Foxy, since we've already been hinted with him in season 1 with his wanted poster, well, where I'm at in the manga, the whole Davy back fight, the whole like what was that about? You think it's just some random event? I think it could be something linked with the supposed end game of the series, because that just seemed very random to me. And in watching or reading the series, it's like, what is this game? What? So you have to, but it kind of makes like, wait a minute. So how it makes sense in the story about how a group of very powerful characters would actually coexist with each other when in reality they would not.
Yeah.
You're kind of bound by pirate code, pirate law that you lost. So maybe Foxy is the key to something.
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Also Foxy is incredibly charismatic. They actually established that in the filler episode where he comes back. You know, against the frog pirates. And so do with Davy Jones, so like maybe Davy Jones would somehow be mentioned towards the end of the One Piece manga, and like somehow it's gonna play an important role at some point. Hopefully,
it's getting there. I feel like there's something with those Davy back fights that that would explain something that would just that just seems so illogical that it would never happen. You know, when you have immovable forces teaming up together, that's not logical.
Yeah.
There can only be one force, not multiples that will join together. But what if they were bound by something, by these certain games?
No, that would make a lot of sense. Like the whole even Parts of the Caribbean, they actually established that where it's like you are honor bound to Davy Jones. Like you have no ability to get off the ship unless authorized by the captain. And the captain himself can only leave the ship for only 1 day every 10 years. Season 4 definitely like all of Water 7 CP9, that would just take up the entire season. Season 5, if you work fast enough, maybe you could squeeze in both Thriller Bark and Impel Down. But I don't know how much happened in Impel Down to be able to, squeeze all that in there.
Yeah, I mean they would have to skip certain floors, obviously, because there's a lot of it was just like that was unnecessary, but key characters were introduced.
Yeah.
And so well, I mean it's all speculation right now. As far as I know right now, we do have season 1 has been accepted by the fans and it has been given great scores on IMDb. I believe audiences have been like an 80 something to it.
And so here's hoping we get season 2, because season 2 has one of the most iconic arcs in the series. Presumably.
Definitely. I look forward to anything that Oda has involved with his name on it. I mean, the man does not just sign his name to anything. I mean, granted, what One Piece has been with the Americas, obviously, a lot of people are still the taste of the 4Kids dub and all that stuff. But I will say that with him being so involved and giving us notes and letting us all know that hey, things are fine, and especially I was actually supposed to go to the event that happened in Santa Monica.
I wish I did not have to miss that, because I'm not a One Piece fan, but I am curious enough to actually go there. I mean, I know it sounds weird saying that you're not a One Piece fan, but you're committing yourself to watching the One Piece anime all the way through. Yes. I'm like, yes,
I had passes to go. A friend of mine had gotten me something, but I never used them because I was ready to go, but life and responsibilities happened, so I had to not go out there. And just the fact that I thought it was fake, I thought it was a joke. Someone was pulling on us that Eiichiro Oda was actually there, and he was there. He was there. Like, just that photo of him. Just a friend of mine who went said that it was dark, obviously. So, but you saw one random person on the sideline just watching. Like, like, so you're telling me you saw Oda? Just a silhouette, but you saw him.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I guess I didn't know. Like, and that just, I was like, wow. See, that's how you know that he was okay with what they did.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like if Lucas stuck by the new Star Wars trilogy, which he never did.
Yeah. How different would it be?
Yeah, how different would it have been? Just the fact that the respect that Netflix, I don't know if it's Hollywood, I don't think it is, that they had to have this man on board and say, look, we've done adaptations, they've sucked. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, maybe they learned from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. I was like, how can you mess up Cowboy Bebop?
Mm-hmm.
And you did, and I'm not gonna get on that, but it's like with One Piece, it's like even Oda said, to the actor Aneki, that it was to make a live action One Piece would be impossible. Mm-hmm. It would be it was almost out of his thoughts and out of his reach to ever think that they would make a live action.
Most we got was a stage show, but like stage shows are always like,
And I've seen the stage shows. It's very kabuki-esque, in terms of how they portray the powers, how they portray certain actions. But to make a live action series, he said, like, he never believed it was possible. And just the fact that he said in negotiations that I want to be a part of this. This is mine. I don't want any. There's been blemishes on it. I don't want this to be that drives people away. I want to bring us all together, which I think he has done with this. I think it's, say what you will about acting and costumes and set pieces, but the fact that I've had people reach out to me and asking me questions about One Piece, it's like, where do I start? What can I expect? You said that you've been since you were a kid. I'm like, yes, I have. And and I was like, I called a few people out, obviously, telling them, well, you always said that it was a dumb pirate show. Like, why would you were all about Naruto and Bleach and Black Butler, Hetalia, all the popular stuff, My Dress Up Darling. I love Marin Kitagawa. You guys never cared about One Piece until recently. I feel like, hot take on anime, One Piece is an overrated show right now. And this is coming from me.
Yeah.
Because everyone's jumping on it right now.
Yeah.
You're seeing people talking like, okay, good, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And, the one thing with this live action is that it has, just like Gold Roger's words, it's taking people to like, now let's start watching. Now let's start reading. Now let's start. Because it is true, and I've seen many people on YouTube and cosplayers say, once the story is over, once Oda wraps it up, we now know what the Void Century is, what the One Piece is, what the ancient weapons are, certain characters that have been introduced. What will there be left to talk about? Besides say it was a long story. Right now, this story is fresh and hot and just ripe for lore and dissecting and wondering what it is. And as I said, it's not like Homer's Odyssey, but it's kind of there.
It feels like it because it took him 12 years.
Yeah. It's there, and it's a fantastical story. It's a story that, like, no way, man, no way. It's like, yes. I mean, have you ever actually heard stories of Black Bart, Captain Cook, Captain Morgan, the actual pirates that existed, the real Blackbeard, of how he actually died? It's very fantastical, but those pirate stories are like, no, that actually happened. That actually, no. And that's what One Piece is. It's like, the biggest thing that most people in the community are like, who's the narrator? Who's narrating the story to us? Because we're getting told this story by a narrator. Who is that? Who's telling us this story?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Luffy after he becomes king of the pirates, or maybe one of his kids from like years later.
Sounds like it, but most people could say it's Usopp just telling another story, because it's like, it does seem like. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine tales? Yeah, can you imagine that Usopp is like telling this story to the people, and just like, wait, what? Gears, a leopard man, a man who could turn into sand, and the man that could shake the world, a man that could freeze an entire ocean,
a skeleton that can play a violin.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, right? It's like, what? No. It's like, but that's.
I just remembered an Easter egg from episode 2. They were playing Brooks' song.
Yeah, they were playing Bink Sake. They're playing it, and I was just like, well, there you go. Again, that's another character that I love. I love Brook. I love him to death, and that's going to be another CGI heavy character right there, Brook and Chopper. Yeah, but I want them. I want them to do it. I want them to bring it, and I'm like, do it, man. I want to see it. That's why I'm like, I support it.
What really excites me for getting to the thriller bark in the anime as I'm watching it, as I'm rewatching it right now.
Redemption for the killing of the dead.
No. Since the beginning, Luffy wanted one thing: a musician for his crew.
He wanted a musician.
Finally gets it.
And he got the best one. He got the Soul King, not just in music, but in actual soul power. So, I want to see that again.
With Brook joining the crew, and just say like, it's like Luffy got his dream. He got a pirate crew with a musician. That was his dream the whole time.
Yeah.
As far as he's concerned, he has become the king of the pirate. The one piece that was missing was a musician.
Was an Afro skeleton man who can play instruments.
He was the one piece that was missing.
That's the thing. I mean, I accept this adaptation fully for what it is. It's as always, there's gonna be people that are just like, no, this is stupid. Well, try to make any shonen anime.
Let's see you do it. Yeah, to the naysayers. Let's see you do better.
Let's see. They already did a Bleach movie, which I thought that was pretty good.
And even crazier, they had all 3 writers from Forza play Ichigo. So it's like I don't know who wrote Forza, but he was clearly an Ichigo or a Hime fan.
Yeah, definitely. You had all of Forza's cast for Kamen Rider Forza on that.
And Nadeshiko played Orihime, so they were definitely
yeah.
So they definitely preferred Orihime over Rukia.
Yeah, definitely. The thing was, like, we already did we already did Bleach, which I thought visually that was good. With Death Note, they did
twice.
I thought
if you count the Netflix one.
Yeah. But I will say that the original one that they came out with years ago, the movies, the 2 movies, which I own those.
3.
Yeah, 3 with L Change the World, yes.
I loved it. Like, I enjoyed it. I loved it.
I enjoyed it because, no, again, you want to watch or read Death Note, go watch it or read it. This is just the recap of it. But again, it's like, apparently there was a rumor going around that I heard that Netflix is going to try to do Naruto. And I'm like, well...
I mean, it's already confirmed they're doing Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, and I did see those.
And the thing is, the actor who plays Kurama is Tokyo from Tokyo.
Yes.
But the one thing that bothers me is that Kuwabara doesn't have a jelly roll pompadour. He has a slick back undercut instead, which honestly, it's like, I don't know. He looks more like a K-pop singer than a Japanese delinquent. But...
See, that's the thing. I was kind of disappointed with my man, the great Kuwabara.
How dare you insult me and my hair?
Yeah,
no, I'm not Josuke Higashikata. I'm Kazuma Kuwabara.
Yeah,
people even said I should have played Kuwabara because I pull off the pompadour really well.
It's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I am patiently waiting for Yu Hakusho, It's just, again, as I've always said, any adaptation of any anime, whether it be, how many have we had throughout the years that were small and gone away, but big. Apparently, I remember people talking about Tokyo Ghoul, that their adaptation was amazing. People talked so much garbage about Attack on Titan because like it deviated from the story, and I'm like, well, yeah, the story's not. You know how much story that is, and you want to know how, like, you can't make like a movie out of it, or let alone two with what you got. That's why they make anime series. Cowboy Bebop, again, I feel like just like with anything that Hollywood touches, especially during these times, they got to put in some type of message for whatever reason. And while I agree, yes, please do talk about this commentary if it's in the story.
Yeah.
But don't try to beat us with a hammer with it.
Yeah.
Don't try to like
Be
try
nuanced.
to. Yeah. I mean, I do like what they did with the story with Faye and what was the gentleman now turned into a trans woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that change because I was like, wait, a love interest for Faye? Faye doesn't. I don't think Faye would do that, especially back in the anime. But I feel as though like the fact that you're trying to make Vicious just not vicious.
Yeah,
and
Julia. I'm gonna be honest, like you know who Vicious reminded me of?
Like the character or the actor who portrayed him?
The live action portrayal.
Okay, who did he remind you of?
He reminded me of Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, and now that you pointed it out, I'm like, seems like a badass, but now that the big boss has shown up, he's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Aren't you supposed to be the badass with the sword that everyone is afraid of?
And then he gets entitled when things don't go his way. Oh, yeah, the king!
Yeah. And I was just like, I stopped watching and I started watching the anime because I was like, my God. I mean, I don't care if things are out of order in terms of episodes or anything like that. It's just that the heart, the story that you're trying to tell us it's not there. You're adding all this new stuff in there just for the sake of adding it, and that's not what I mean, obviously, I don't want to say that's what the fans want, but it's kind of like we know what we're going into when we're watching an adaptation such as One Piece, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, Tokyo Ghoul. We already know. We're sitting down. We already know. But if you want to give a different spin on it, all right. But when you take that spin and then you do a hard left where there is no left, it's like, wait, what? What happened? That's why I was like, well, I felt bad for the actress who was hired to play Ed because we never got to see her performance other than the yelling and the screaming that she did.
And also like Ed is just the kind of character that you cannot really adapt into live action if you really think about it, because it's like,
even the creator for the Cowboy Bebop movie, he even said that adding Ed was kind of like an afterthought. Just to get like, the show is very serious, but we have Ein who gets in his little adventures. What if Ein had like a partner, but it can't be Spike, it can't be Jet, and it can't be Faye. So it's like, that's why they made Ed. But I will disagree that I think we could bring Ed or a character like it. Let me look at Luffy. Look at Luffy. A character like Luffy could, like, you can't make that because who acts that way? I mean, you could. It's just a matter of writing and how you're portraying the character. And that's why I'm like, when I go into adaptations, I know I'm not going to see, or I'm not hoping to see, like, Monkey D. Luffy 100%, to see Light Yagami 100%. We have to get the essence of the character, but it's up to the actors to get it right in terms of their performance, which they will do. They will make their performances.
Yeah, like Iñaki, like he's not hyperactive like the anime version of Luffy is, but he's not yelling
a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way Luffy is in the anime, it would not work in live action because
No.
at least not until he becomes Joy Boy. In which case, they'll just use the special effects team from The Mask.
I would love for people to get online and say this CG is so BS, and I was like, have you not seen the anime? But a lot of that is CG. A lot of that is the computer generated artwork that's being happening right now. We have changed art styles now, so I mean, if we ever get to that point, I mean, who knows? But it's all just an adaptation. Mm-hmm. If you want to watch, you want to read, then go. I mean, no one's stopping you. This is here, obviously. And again, I'm loving the fan reactions. I'm loving how people are just getting into One Piece right now because of this show. And I think it's true what they say. They really have broken the One Piece has broken the adaptation curse because now you've had people that are actually fans and loving it to the point that we gotta do this right. We can't let
like Battle Angel was good, but
I love Battle Angel. I love Battle Angel.
But Cowboy Bebop kind of like set back the progress that Alita has set up.
It's also like not anime, but look at like Sonic the Hedgehog. Look at Detective Pikachu, where should these have worked in a long line of adaptations? Should they have worked? And in history, they would not have worked. But as you said, they did, because why? People already know the passion, but also the fact that there are people our age who are now working in the studios, who are animators, who grew up again. Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, I know how we look back at the original 90s movie as a cult classic, obviously, but it couldn't work now. That's why I was like, you know what, guys, let's take the teams who did Detective Pikachu, who did Sonic, Mario, and take an example from them in terms of making adaptations now. We gotta start, not 100%, but at least get the essence and get it right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be completely identical to the source material as long as it captures the spirit. Like even with like Death Note, like they could have done like a Death Note series that takes place in a different time period in a different country, like because it is established in the lore of the Death Note, in the manga, the anime, and even in the movies, all three versions of the live action series, like they established that gods of death had been giving death notes to people for centuries, but they always got their death notes back for one reason or another. We could explore those things, like for example, like what if there was a death note during the Salem witch trials, or what if there was a death note during the Warring States era of Japan, or what if there was one in during the Crusades? Heck, what if Dante's Divine Comedy was a true story because Dante had a death note and he had to pay for it?
Kind of like Virgil's the death god. I mean definitely. I mean, that's why. But when you say the name, I mean, obviously people expect certain characters and certain things that pop up. That's why I was like, well, you know what? Let's see. I said that from day one when One Piece was announced. I cannot pass judgment until I've seen it, ladies and gentlemen, and I've seen it, and I will say it is a successor to what already is, and it's another chapter to put in the book of One Piece that it exists. We can't just hide it under the rug. It exists. It's there with the 4Kids dub. It's there with the Filipino dubs. It's there. Like, One Piece has had one hell of a history, and to say like this is a good chapter for an adaptation, like right there, it is. And not just me, IMDb, ING, many cosplayers and Instagram people have been talking about it.
You could even say that this live action adaptation is the Legacy's equivalent of Gold Roger saying, "My fortune's yours for the taking, but you have to find it first. I left everything I own at One Piece." Hopefully, this inspires people to make other adaptations that are just as good, if not better, than this one.
We can only hope. We can only hope. I mean, any adaptation that you do, video games, manga, anime, comics, that you got to take it all with a grain of salt. And if you like it, great. You know, I mean, but for an adaptation to be widely accepted by casual fans, non-fans, and the general public, this is just wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, I give this season a 9 out of 10 because, like you said, like it's fantastic, but there are things to improve on, and given like the things it improved upon from the anime, like this did things that the anime didn't. That I'm glad that they included here, and wish they did in the anime. So like,
yes.
so it's a good 9. You know,
It's the Cliff versions, the Cliff Notes versions, and of course there must be some things that the creators or the director will add along with the creator, which is Oda. So
I'm just impressed that despite the fact that it's a Cliff Notes version, the fact that you have to like squeeze so much into such a short amount of airtime, they took the time to add these other things on top of it and still make it work better.
Yes, definitely. I know that though some people would want more character development with certain people, with certain characters that will not continue. Obviously, the Straw Hats. Right now, I know people have commented that Usopp and Sanji didn't get a lot of screen time. Mm-hmm. But if there is a second season, they will grow along with. But obviously, Kuro and Arlong and all of them, well, they are who they are, and maybe that'll be something for if there's a next season. Well, let's develop the next villain or the next antagonist a little bit more than what we did before. I mean, Smoker definitely, is he'll be like the Koby as he is in the series that's chasing Straw Hat. So there should be a little bit more there besides just simple, cat and mouse things.
And I think that's pretty much it. So on to the comments, shall we? So if you are watching this live, your comments will be displayed down below. So here we go. Triple XYZ says, I love this adaptation. Way better than Bebop. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. I think the whole world would agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Straw Hat pirate? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, now we have like what, 10 or 11 of them now, including Jim
10 members, but I know there's supposed to be 11 in total.
Well, if you think about it, you have the core crew right now, but you also have Laboon, you have Vivi, you have Doc Correja as an ally. The whole kingdom of Alabasta.
Yeah, but as far as the core team goes,
the core.
It's been foreshadowed that there's gonna be a total of 11 members.
Yeah.
Like, as far back as episode 3.
I want to say, Oz. I'm thinking he's like talking about not just the live action, but in general of our favorite Straw Hats. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
My love has always been Robin. Mm. I've loved Robin from day one. I have my car, my new car, is actually dedicated to Nico Robin, to both voice actresses of English and Japanese, Miss Stephanie Young, and also to the many who have done her in Japan. I have a very large decal to her name, or several things on the back window. Yeah. So I love Robin out of the ladies for the Straw Hats, and in terms of the gentlemen, it would have to be my boy Brook, because Brook. I mean, I love Chopper. I love everyone. Let me put that so. But Brook, he really, especially now with Wano and everything that's happened from Whole Cake to Wano, he has earned the title Soul King, like 100%. So, right there, Robin and Brook, right there.
Yeah, so for me, I'd have to go with Robin and Chopper because like I love that he's like a doctor, and he's just so cute and stuff, and again, long ring log. It's like they have to go rescue Chopper.
They have to rescue him.
Yeah, but one thing I do have to say is I do have to throw some respect to like as we leave the East Blue, like he is the weakest member of the entire team effectively, but he gets a lot of character development. And like even like I finally actually saw the Navarone saga, and everyone's like, oh, you could skip Navarone because it's just filler. You just go straight to Long Ringlong when you finish Skypiea. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I like Navarone a lot more than Skypiea, if I'm being completely honest. But
it was
but I love the focus that Usopp got in Navarone, because like if it wasn't for his love for the Going Merry, they would not have been able to escape that island. And actually, you know, like for all you One Piece fans, like you should appreciate it a little bit more, because it is based on this famous movie, Escape from Navarone, where like you actually have to escape from this island fortress. But it's also fun just seeing like all the main characters become Marines.
Yeah, that was hinted at, especially in this season with Nami and everything else, because she never did dress up as a Marine in the anime. So
and also like I just love like the laid back way that the captain of Navarrone's like running the tight ship, and how like everyone has to eat. You can't leave your dish like unfinished, and there's like no work related talk while you're eating. So it's like things conveniently happen like during lunchtime. And I love how he plays it out like a chess game, because, and honestly, I think that's why I like Garp's portrayal in this show, because he's playing Go, and he's like treating everything like it's a Go board, just like how the captain of Navarone treated everything like a chess game. It's like, so what's your next move, Luffy? And I love how he thinks that Luffy's like a tactical genius when he just succeeds to outwit him like accidentally.
So that's the thing, is that, you know, it's as for One Piece fans, we know it's the portrayal of the media and word of mouth that makes these characters so larger than life. And it's very true, because people think like the Straw Hats, especially Luffy, he must be a dangerous man. He must be, you know, he's worse than Whitebeard. He's worse than Mama and Kaido. It's like, no.
Yeah, like even before they got to Skypiea, they're like there's a group of pirates who are like, it's like, wait, Luffy's got 100,000 bounty. Like, anyone could fake that. He probably faked it. There's no way he's worth that bounty.
They were just shitting themselves when they found out it was true, and it was like, you know, well, I mean the bounty, but again, the bounties are just how much you're worth dead. I mean,
to the Navy,
So it's not really like, I never saw bounties as like a power level. I just saw more like, well, look at Mama, look at Kaido, look at like there's a reputation there of why.
You know what's interesting is that like watching both that Skypiea arc and the Navarone arc, combining them, like I had this idea, like what if there was this pirate crew that enlisted into the Marines like earlier on in their career, so they could get like the naval ship, they could get the naval uniforms, and then they would like secretly like plunder and pillage under the guise of being naval officers, and then someone else, so that someone else would have a high bounty instead of them. So then they could collect the bounty on that person, and so on and so forth, and the cycle will continue.
Technically, we are there. But you know. All right, next question. Next question.
All right. Who is Sniper King? Is it Kaku?
Who is Sniper King? That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know. You just showed up.
I mean, it would make sense if it was Kaku, because he's got a long nose, just like the.
Well, the thing is, the long nose is wrapped up in a bandage. So, I mean, is it an actual nose? I mean, I don't see any like facial details that are, wait, it's this person, it's that person. No. I don't see that. And I know there's this wacky theory. People go, it's Usopp. Oh my goodness, I lost my phone.
Usopp? That coward? No way.
No. See, that's how crazy. My phone just did a flip. It's like I said Usopp. It's like, no, you did not. No, you did not. It is, see, right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's how crazy that theory is, that Sniper King is Usopp. No. Sniper King is Sniper King, and Usopp is God Usopp. All right, they're not the same. Usopp was not there. he was. I mean, I
he
felt
left the ship. Like he left the train. We all saw him leave.
yeah, he left, and I was like, what the heck? I mean, he didn't even say goodbye to the Mary. He wasn't there for Mary. So did he actually love Mary?
And he's like,
I mean, come on.
And when Sanji asked him to help out, he's like, "Hey, I'm not a straw hat. I have nothing to do with this." And then Usopp just left, and we never see Usopp again.
We never see Usopp all throughout Water 7 or any Lobby. I'm like, I don't know why people keep saying that Usopp was there. He was not there. Kaku was there, but Kaku. Kaku was there. He was a giraffe for crying out loud.
And we never see Kaku and Sniper King in the same place.
No, they were in the same place when Zoro was fighting. Yeah, one time. So the whole thing that Sniper King is Kaku, that is thrown out the door. Okay. But who this mysterious man with the mask and the slingshot that looks very similar, very familiar. I don't know who that is. We don't know, and that's one of the mysteries that will never be answered.
Hey, what if it was Usopp? Think about it. He also has a long nose. And you know that Shank would always want to have one guy look out for Luffy.
Yeah, but it could been. It could have been. Obviously, I mean, for God's sake, it could have been. It could have been Gin.
Yeah,
it could have been Gin. It could have been Don Krieg's left-hand man. It could have been Gin. He came back. He came back and said, that's what it is. It's Gin. It's Gin, all right.
Yeah, I mean, because
I don't know
Sanji gave him the food. He's like,
yeah,
time for me to pay my bill.
Yeah, it's like I'll see you guys again. Yeah, no, it's Gin, people. It's Gin. No, what Usopp was crying over at the ship because he was repenting about what he did. I'm like, no, and I'm surprised that Luffy took him back, but Usopp had to cry and get that all.
Yeah,
but no,
Sniper King.
Sniper King totally should have been on that ship. Not Usopp, but they love Usopp, and Usopp has redeemed himself many times. But Usopp and Sniper King, no way. There's no way in all. So let's not more conspiracy theories. Next question.
I love Buggy here. Yeah, Buggy was.
Fun. Oh yeah, Buggy Senchola. We gotta love Captain Buggy, especially the Netflix series, as I said many times on this interview. Amazing adaptation. Yeah. Love Buggy forever. Cross guild, obviously.
So, does this give you any more faith in live action adaptations? Well, I mean, I had very little faith before. Now I have a little bit more faith. But the thing is, we could always have another One Piece, but we could also have another Cowboy Bebop. I mean, let's hope the next adaptation we get is more like One Piece and less like Cowboy Bebop. All I know go ahead.
It's really a flip of the coin, obviously, with any adaptations. But as always, as I say, they're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. Let us wait and see what happens. Let's see. I mean, obviously, we can't just judge by what still pictures and whatnot. Yeah. We have to see the project, and once you see it, then come out to me and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
I personally think,
because you wouldn't think it, but Jet was the best part of Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Film.
Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. That was a match made in heaven, and yet
that was a full carry.
Yeah, that was just like, what the heck? But I mean, for adaptations, let's all take it with a grain of salt, and let's just sit down and enjoy the show. We'll let us judge afterwards, and from there.
All I know is that if they did do a Netflix version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it better be Sam Raimi directing it.
Well, they did that live action JoJo a while back, though, but it was Diamond is Unbreakable, which had Mac in it. Yeah, again, well, he was Josuke, right? Oh, he was Okayasu. Okay. I was like, wait, wasn't he? Yeah, again.
He's always chopping things.
Always. Just like, there you go. Again, it just it depends on the story, and again, as I said, just like with One Piece, you don't take a story like One Piece and expect Shakespearean art. You don't expect some type of what you're getting into, and you got to accept that. And bringing it into live action is like, do we want to see it in live action? Is the question. I mean,
Yeah,
look at the.
But what I'm saying is, if they did do American Netflix version of JoJo, I don't trust any Hollywood director on that project except for Sam Raimi, because I know he is a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's friends with Araki, so if I had to trust a Hollywood director to work on it without consulting Araki, it would absolutely have to be Sam Raimi.
It's there. It's like I said, the people who have to direct this movie are people of passion and people who know what they're talking about and what they're trying to do. You can't just, we're not going to have a Godzilla 98 situation again where, yeah, the person just did it because they did it. They don't like the story. They don't like the character. They just did it for the sake of doing it. Then that's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. So again, with the question, do we have faith for adaptations? It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
But let us judge accordingly once it's all said and done.
Yeah, like Sonic could have been bad.
And it almost was. It almost was. It almost was. Again, I was like, as I said, there are people my age and your age, Michael, that now work in the industry that grew up in the 90s, that were late 80s babies and grew up in the 90s. We know Super Mario World. We know Sonic the Hedgehog. We know Bubsy the Bobcat. We know Gex the Gecko. We had all those mascot video games.
Yeah.
How did you give us that first Sonic trailer and think this was okay? I was like, you got to be fucking with me. There's no way. I'm insulted, especially since Detective Pikachu came out before.
But then we finally got that adorable Jaleel White version of Sonic.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, how do I feel about Gangster's Paradise? I mean, I don't hate Gangster's Paradise, but and you know what's even crazier is that the deformed Sonic model from before ended up in Chippendales.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that it was poking fun at all the mistakes that Hollywood has done and made, especially when it comes to remakes or reboots or adaptations. So right there, if we can have fun with adaptations in that way, then I mean, it's a win. I mean, we got crazy CGI Sonic. That should be a standard of never letting that happen again. So, so adaptations, let's wait and see. Next question.
All right. I'm here to say I'm watching this and pooping. Okay, this is a running joke that Cody does. So next question. Okay, who do you think has a stronger plot armor protecting Luffy or Naruto?
A plot armor in terms of just like if they made an adaptation or just in general?
I think it's just in general. Like who is more conveniently unkillable?
Who is more conveniently unkillable? Well, I would have
like
to
not
say...
just unkillable because they're both kind of unkillable, but I mean like whose difficulty to kill is more convenient, I guess is the best way I could define it.
I would have to say it's Naruto.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with Naruto is that has he actually really died? I mean, he's gone to the spirit world. He's spoken with spirits and ghosts and stuff like that. But look at Luffy and look at just his life from the East Blue up to now. Look at everything he's gone through. Like all the gears that he's done has taken a toll on his body. Gear 2 shrunk him. Gear 3 up to 4. It put a strain on his body. He fought Magellan in Impel Down, and Magellan had the poison fruit, which if it wasn't for my boy Bon Clay coming in and taking Luffy to Eva, he would have died. But even Eva said, look, what I did was this. But you did lose some years off your life. And what I'm going to do to save you will also take years off. So if you look at it, Luffy has been like slowly dying throughout the entire series. And also with what has happened with the gears and with Joy Boy. I mean, what's this toll on his body? Like Naruto has gone through a lot of stuff, but he's trained. He's trained and he has surpassed...
like Naruto. The only thing he lost permanently is his right arm.
Yeah, he lost his right arm. For all those who don't, he also lost later on in Boruto. He lost Kurama. sad to say.
He lost his literal plot armor.
Well, no, he does have Sage mode, so there's that. But the thing is that Luffy is different from Ichigo and Goku and Naruto, as for Luffy has been putting himself through hell and back to reach his goals, and he is just a man. There will come a time that he will pass away, but how will he pass away is the question. Goku can die and be brought back, no problem. So I'm like,
Naruto died and came back.
Did he die and come back? I don't remember.
Using her healing powers.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like an actual, we had to do a forbidden jutsu to get him back, like something like that. So when characters like that die, there's always some way to bring them back. It's again, it's like Goku. If he dies, no one cares because they can just wish him back. No one cares. Also, that's why the running joke of Dragon Ball is he's dead, he's out, he's come back. But I think
and as Chaozu would say, if I die one more time, I get a Happy Meal. Yeah.
Honestly, if Luffy dies, which it kind of did happen with Joy Boy, because I did a comment on the Grand Line review for one of his videos, and I asked the question Luffy gained Joy Boy's powers by death because Kaido did beat him. He did quote unquote kill him. And that's when the drums of liberation happened and Joy Boy came out, saving his life. So in terms of that, I think Luffy has some very, very interesting plot armor, but he can die and will die and stay dead if he's not careful. So who has the best plot armor? It has to be Naruto, because Naruto has not bit the big one yet, so to speak. He's been at the door, he just hasn't passed it. Luffy just keeps bouncing back and forth.
The only convenient kind of armor that Luffy has is being literal rubber, but even rubber can burn.
And again, even rubber can wear out. So be as Joy Boy, it's but then again, the whole thing of devil fruits gives you these fantastical powers, but the only back is that you can't swim. I feel like there should be more to that. I mean, there should be shortened life.
Also, I think what's it called? The live action One Piece did a better job at explaining the not being able to swim thing a little bit better. I mean, they go into more detail in the anime later on, but I mean, as far as East Blue Arc, because it almost seemed like the way they described Luffy not being able to swim, in the flashback, it made it seem like, oh, well, you just forgot how to swim and your body will continue to sink. You could still try to breaststroke to the surface, but you're not going to be able to, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But in the live action, Buggy straight up says the salt water from the ocean fully paralyzes your body.
And salt is actually purifying for demons in many cultures, and even in Christianity, you get the salt.
Even in sumo wrestling, they use salt to purify the stage to ward away demons. And guess what's demonic in One Piece? The demon fruit.
The demon fruit.
I know it's called the devil fruit, but just trying to stick to the word convention.
Definitely. Next question.
Yeah, so that's it for the comments. Thank you, everyone, for watching our nearly 3-hour
Christ
discussion.
Almighty! Oh my God!
I was like, let's see if we could make it in 45 minutes, but no. You're gonna add another 2 hours on top of that. But I suppose that's kind of indicative of talking about One Piece, because it's 103 volumes in the United States, and it's 1,071 episodes. So it's
and going.
Yeah, so talking about 8 episodes in one sitting, it's still it's still a voyage,
There was a voyage there, and it will continue to be that. So thank you, everyone.
We discuss season 2 whenever that comes out. Obviously, we can be a little bit more brief because a lot of the important cultural aspects we've already covered in this video. So it's like, yeah, but wow, I was not expecting this long of a runtime. But hey, it's One Piece.
It is One Piece. It's
It's
very
almost
long.
an insult to One Piece if it wasn't a long video.
Yeah, very much so.
So, in any case, if you enjoy watching this video, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We here at the Buttery Show do a lot of movie reviews, TV show discussion, video game news, and even sometimes vlogs. And yeah, we're actually going to do a vlog very soon, so stick around for that. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. Also, check out our sister channel, Orphan Network, where we discuss Kamen Rider Gotchard as of this Tuesday, as the time of this recording.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And King Oger, we got the time skip going on, just like at One Piece. On Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. So be sure to follow, like, and subscribe, and ding the bell icon for that channel as well. And of course, with Cosmic Fury showing up, we're going to be reviewing that on that channel as well.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and if you want to follow our personal content, Steve, where can the ladies and gentlemen find you?
Well, I do have a Facebook, but that's more just like whatever. Barely use that. But my Instagram is the Sin Prince on Instagram, and also on Threads, also on Twitter as well. I do post art, I do some sketches on there, but I have been thinking about doing more of these discussions with people. Just been trying to get into the medium of it, because obviously there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But of course, I welcome anyone that wants to send me comments or wants to do with these interviews or these type of podcasts. If it's a subject that I'm well knowledge, then I would enjoy that.
Well, that's why you were invited here, because you're such a One Piece expert. And of course, you could find Mike, who had to leave early, on Instagram at RedRanger2134, on Twitch at RedFalcon347, and on TikTok at RedFalcon212. And in case you're wondering about all those numbers at the end, we already made a One Piece joke when we were reviewing King Oger. So you could check that out. And of course, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. And with all that said, guys, come aboard and ride along towards your hopes and dreams. And be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and pursue your dreams no matter how far they take you, whether it's 103 volumes or 1071 episodes. Whatever your destination is, it'll always be about the journey and the friends you make. And of course, there is a real treasure at the end. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Thanks so much. Thank you for having me.